I got to drink all that homebrew I got left over, man. You're starting off with an IPA? Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
I got nothing but IPAs for tonight. So.
I got Tiny Bomb American Pilsner from Wiseacre, Memphis, Tennessee in the house.
Whoa, I will say real quick, I wish it was possible for all of us to see each other in Discord, like, flawlessly.
Yeah.
So much better.
I can't see Jaegers.
I'll figure it out soon. I got to play around with this and just work on thumbnails and shit. By the way, that last video was bombing because I think I burned up that same thumbnail for last weekend.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's all good, though. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Is this live? Check one, check one, check one.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up YouTube.
We had Jaggers coming in and out. Let me know how it sounds on your guys' ends. What's up, Wednesday Night Raw? Is everything working?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
I think so.
Let us know what you're drinking. What's up, Itzrek? Thanks for the comment on that last video. Thank you, Chris Radiation. What's up, Nick Keen? Thanks for watching that video. Sarah VC, what's up, everybody? Brewing Bad TV.
Ray Castro's in the house.
What up, Ron Barnes? How is everybody? Really quick, wanted to, we got some new blood in the house tonight. This is Mr. Jaggers Brewing. He's got a killer YouTube channel. Link in description.
Thank you.
Subscribe to his channel. It'll help him. It'll help the whole community as a whole. As always, Mr. Gnome and Mr. Alias. I just caught up with Apartment Steve's video on tactics on how to get clear beer. Shout out to everybody who put out content. Looks like the homebrew challenge is on a hiatus. Hope all's well with Martin. I know Trent was telling me he's going to do a little hiatus too. Genus Peter is coming to Knoxville mid-January. That'll be cool. And really quick, I wanted to apologize for last week. I kind of shit the bed. I made the comment section members only. I don't know. I thought I was still kind of worried about the video that I uploaded to the channel a few weeks ago. And I thought maybe if there was just members here, there would be less trolls or whatever. But more importantly, I was just trying to offer the members something that they were paying for that other people weren't. But that was a bad idea. There's a lot of people that are new in here, have a lot of questions, and want to put that in the chat. Won't happen again. With that, if anybody has any questions, throw them into the chat. If we're on a rant, I guarantee you somebody will help you out with that. And I've got one thing written down. Talked to Noam about this earlier, but in the meantime, what are you guys drinking over there, man?
I got the JAF
I was gonna get
IPA
fucked up tonight
from JAFB
JFK Airport.
Fucking brewery.
Was that Austin?
No, they are. I think they're Ohio, Worcester, Ohio.
Which is kind of a far beer from Austin. That means they're...
Yeah, this was given to me by a neighbor.
There's a Worcester, Ohio? Is that what you said?
I almost went to college there. I almost went to college at Worcester, Ohio. No joke. I mean, it was like $60,000 a year. They were giving me like $2,000 scholarship, which means nothing at all. But
nothing at that point.
But that's how they do it. They're like, we'll give you a scholarship. You're like, well, it's $58,000 to go here a year.
Wow.
We got Jaggers Brewing in the house. Jaggers, where you from? Mick Jaggers.
Back off, war child. Serious.
Great state of Tejas.
Yeah, I know you're trying to meet up with these guys a little bit, or you're trying to meet up with Alias, but tell us a bit about yourself, man. What city?
Man. So I live in a small town called Hitchcock.
Sound good.
It's kind of in the boonies a little bit.
All you guys live
nice,
in the boonies.
slow living kind of deal.
Except Alias. Right on, man. How long you been brewing?
2016.
Same with me, ish.
Yeah, I converted over to all grain 2018 for my extract, and kind of just been trying to knock it out as much as possible.
Right on, man. Thank you for emailing me the recipe to your thin mint chocolate stout.
Yeah,
I'm gonna brew that.
Problem.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go verbatim off that, but I'm gonna pretty much use the same water chemistry. You have a lot of water written down for that. That was almost 9 gallons.
So I had to do a water adjustment on that. I ended up using just over 8.3 gallons
For a 5-gallon batch, right?
Yeah, to sort that one out. Yeah, I didn't reflect that in the notes. I meant to correct that, but
I'll talk to you off.
Those last minute kind of things,
Back off.
you gotta go with what you know, and I just haven't adjusted all my software out quite yet.
Well, I appreciate with what you gave me, man, and that was enough. I can take it from there. There's 2 hops in there, and there's about 5 or 6 grains in there. I think I'm going to simplify that, but I'm going to take your beer salts.
Do it.
Do it. We're right on, man. Thanks for being here. Poor computer just
Thank
got
you for having me on.
Yeah, man. And if anybody would like to subscribe to his channel, we got a description. We got a link in the description, man. So show him some love. I'm going to create a poll for it right now. What else has been going on with you guys?
We're closing in on 300 subs on the channel now.
Can we get him over
Nice,
300
nice.
tonight? Engage with your audience.
I believe in us.
I think we can get over 300.
I would think so.
Unless I take this thing down tonight. Unless somebody goes on some killer COVID rant. I'm just kidding. Subscribe to Jaggers.
I'm already subbed or I would.
Who's got a brew day coming up?
I'm brewing next week.
What do you got going on, Elias?
I'm doing hazy IPA.
Anything different about this batch?
No, this is just practicing.
Honing it in.
This is like my go-to hazy IPA, and so I think I'm gonna try the orange peel stuff that we use with yours.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
Yeah, and then also this grain has been crushed for about a month, and it's just been sitting in like a bag. So I'm kind of curious to see if just seeing how, because usually people say, oh, the longest you want to keep crushed grain is
2
like a
weeks.
week or so.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, let's have fun with it and go for let's see how it turns out. If I get good starch conversion, if not, like, because I know what the numbers should be during like for my pre-boil and stuff like that.
Just taste it. It should be fine.
Yeah.
I
At the end of the
think,
day, I know it's gonna make some beer, so
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine as far as the time goes on the grain.
yeah.
I don't see a problem with that personally, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've had grain crushed for like 6 months in the back, stored in a bag, and it's come out all right.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine there.
I'll take it one step further. I mean, people say don't eat bread after 2 weeks or something, or drink milk. Like, I'll drink that shit 2 months down the road, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'll still eat the food that they're not talking to eat.
As long as it doesn't have any mold or anything, that's fine.
Nice. Ron Barnes says he's 2 subs away from 300, man. That's that love I'm talking about. It's Rec. You can
Hell yeah.
you can take us over the you can push us over the cliff.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
And then I'm gonna do a pilsner as well, too.
Nice.
So-
You gonna do it under pressure?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that video. I'm going to do a 6-gallon batch and cut it in half and do one under pressure and one not, because everything's going to be the exact same. It's going to be in the same temperature control. I'm going to make a yeast starter, so it's not just 2 different yeast packages. And I want to see if I can tell the difference between and I think Apartment Steve made that video, under pressure versus not under pressure.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
He did. Very
Yeah.
recently, I think.
Last month, yeah. Northwest Small Batch Brewing, man. Always showing love, dude. Come on down. And we got 50 people in here right now, man. What's up, Zach Peterson? What's up, Trouble Brewing? Big shout out to Knothead Brewing, who Rage didn't go to work to hang out with us on the stream tonight. We got 50 people in here right now,
Look,
man.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
I got one question this week. I got some question this week, but the ones that caught out, that stood out the most, I thought that would be the best topic of conversation for this. If someone commented on an older video, do you recommend going to school for beer or getting a beer certificate? And since Noam has gone that route, he's going to have the best information. And we've talked about this a little bit, Noam, but for the new people that are here. Noam?
Sorry. You want me to just like.
And we have to drink
talk
now.
about-
What's up? What's up, Patrick Sandy? Yeah, what's your take on? Tell us about your experiences doing. I mean, is it a certificate or a college or a AA?
Yeah, it's an AA certificate. No.
Or what's the
yeah,
one
it's
under
just
BA?
it is a certificate, but basically it's just to get your foot in the door. Which I mean, honestly, you can do that without it. And most of the information is stuff that's like readily available online. You just have to like put in the work and dig. So I don't know.
What'd you pay for yours?
Talk about it. Depends on like what the question is. Like if it's just would I recommend it, probably not. Like I do kind of regret it, to be honest.
Did you break
just
the bank?
because I'm not utilizing it at all. Like when I first started like thinking about doing it is because I was like looking to get into the industry, and now I'm just like I have like no interest unless I'm doing it myself. So I don't know. Like if you're doing it to learn information, it would be good, but it's also a lot of money. Like I said, it's stuff you can just learn by looking if you really care enough. But I don't know if you want, like, it depends on like how you want me to branch off into different things.
Well, I got a couple questions. I mean, was yours hands-on or not? Because I feel like that would be a must. A
Yeah,
must.
absolutely.
You got to know what you're doing outside reading
So
the
the
textbooks.
hands-on approach is 2 weeks in Chicago, and the one I did was 3 months, spread out. Also, what I did, there's no like you can take as long as you want to do the mods. Like if you wanted to, you could catalog all the information and then upload it like literally the day before the deadline, and you'd be fine.
But did you do this because you wanted to be a head brewer? I mean, did you do this because you wanted to own a brewery and make a lot of money, or did you want to hone in your home brewing skills, or did you want to just get an entry-level job?
The time, yeah. I was just like looking to get my foot in the door, and then like my motives changed like shortly after I got it, to be honest.
Because Mike does one from Culver, and it's a really good class, and it's a pretty much a non-bullshit class. Like he doesn't call it, become the pro brewer and professional brewer. It's an entry-level job, and he says if you want to own a brewery, this is not for you. If you want to make a ton of money, this is not for you. If you want to win homebrew competitions, this is not for you. And it's very competitive, and it's very hands-on, and people are not breaking the bank. And I think he's getting a lot of people jobs at a lot of breweries with credibility.
Right. Here would be my next question. Like, above cellarman or cellarman? Because that's like, I mean, you can become a cellarman like with little to no homebrewing experience almost. I mean, like pretty much your tasks are to clean and sanitize. That's what we do all day long. So
right.
Doesn't take a genius to do that, but that'll get you foot in the door, and then like maybe a year or two down the line, you can become like an assistant brewer. Now, would this certificate like jump that? Maybe, like if you find the right brewery that's like willing to take you on in that, but then you'd have to like prove yourself like immediately. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can only speak from my experience. It's up to it depends on what people are looking for.
Seems like an okay gig if you don't break the bank, and there's a lot of there's hands-on, and I mean hands-on would mean you would have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So. Where's the industry though, and according to like bringing in new people like that, after I graduated high school, I wanted to do nothing but be a mechanic, so I went to tech school.
That's what I want to do now.
Because like nobody wanted to hire you unless you had like a billion years in the industry, and kind of thing. And now it's not so much like that for all the tech trades. It's like, is brewing kind of the same way, like?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that. I'd have to have Mike come on or something. He'd be a really good guy to come on. But every time he came on, it was in person. I don't think he's got he could come on just on his phone, set up from Discord. But maybe I'll reach out to him, and he could break down the realities of becoming a brewer, an entry-level brewer. But I want to give a shout out to
actually real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
So, the learning is the same, but I will say this: it's kind of hard. Like the video mods are like you're literally listening to like a German person. Like in broken English, try to explain like complex things. So you're like, I had to like rewind so many times. Like, what did he say? So that kind of sucks too, to be honest. Like in person in Chicago, I'm sure maybe there are German people there too, speaking broken English, but it was kind of hard to like follow along sometimes. But I don't know. It's just another thing I remembered real quick.
You got to depend on the certificate too. Some, I'm sure the students vouch for, and some people say no way. So, and they're popping up now. I searched this, and now it's like Portland State, get your brewing degree, Cornell online. Where the fuck is Cornell? New York?
Yeah.
Like what?
Ithaca, New York.
Yeah. But big shout out to Ron Barnes, man. Thank you for that super chat. Always showing love. So the answer to that is there is no answer to that. But the Brew Show is here.
Brew Show.
How do you guys think you learn the most from brewing? YouTube, books,
YouTube,
trial and error, friend.
YouTube and trial and error as well.
I mean, it's always got to be
Yeah.
trial and error, right? I mean, you're not going to nail
Yeah.
cooking or baking or brewing or gardening. You could know what to do verbatim watching video tutorials on YouTube. And the bummer about colleges is that YouTube it's just better. You know, it's like
Yeah.
teachers that go through the motions, exactly what you're talking about, whether it's trying to teach you how to brew or teach chemistry or teach biology or whatever. There's a dude dying out there to have like the perfect audio, to cut out all the dead weight, to get that number one spot. That's going to be better than anything at MIT or Harvard. He's going to make sure that you really learn this and stick around because he knows the algorithm. It's not going to be some teacher that's like Ben Stein monotone and then you have to take a test that's 100 questions and they're going to try to trick you. Like YouTubers that are doing tutorials like really want you to get it, because the more that you get it, the more you're going to stick around, and the more you stick around, the better off that video will be in the algorithm. So it's kind of a win-win.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to also use my home brew club, my local guys, and Reddit too. Both of those seem to have pretty good sources of information, as well as YouTube. It's heavily YouTube for me, and then trial and error.
Reddit for the forums.
Yeah. There's a lot of hidden information in there if you can kind of cipher in all that, stuff that's good versus the bad.
Bad, yeah. I
Which,
used Reddit for like Keezer stuff. That was really helpful.
With what?
Oh, just like find the right shanks and stuff like that. People had recommendations and where not to get and stuff like that.
Reddit's way better than Quora. I know that Quora comes up a lot when I Google questions.
I will say this,
Quora.
the brewery subreddit, you do learn a lot of stuff in there, and there are a lot of like pros who are just as clueless sometimes. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're just like, hey, this is what I'm trying to brew, I have no info, like any suggestions, or they'll have problems, and the amount of like just feedback and people trying to help out is actually very surprising. For how much of a cesspool Reddit is, the brewery subreddit is actually very positive.
That's a breath of
So-
fresh air because I'm scared of Reddit.
If you are looking to kind of like take a glimpse into what like pro brewers deal with and like what they're looking to figure out as well, I would recommend it. You do have to like kind of dig and follow it daily, just like check the new threads and stuff, but that definitely is a good resource, because I mean, who better to like look to than people that are really doing it on a daily basis?
Yeah.
Right.
And I hang out with people in San Diego, my buddies that own breweries and they're head brewers, and like they're bouncing ideas off each other all the time. It's like the more that you think you know, the more you don't know, or this guy's doing something different, or this guy just told this guy he does 30-minute boils and this guy's been doing 60-minute for 10 years. And he's just like, whoa, because this could cut back on so much. So nobody knows everything, You can't.
Yeah.
Reddit is a cesspool. Nick Keene.
It really is. Like
Yeah.
98% of it is for sure.
What are they screaming about on Reddit? Like race, religion, politics? Like what's the
Just everything. And
Really?
if you give
Anything and everything.
like video games?
just-
like fuck you, Mario Kart's better.
I'll put it this way,
I don't think that's
like
that.
nearly every time I give my honest take on things without being like disrespectful or anything like that, the next day I'll wake up and somebody will report me to like the safety concern, like somebody needs to like reach out to this person because they're not well. It's like, what
Really?
the fuck? They're that like pathetic and petty and stuff. It's ugh. It makes me not even want to go on there. So like basically the only subreddit I follow now is the brewery.
Is it 14-year-old kids?
think-
Like who's
I have no
screaming?
idea.
Yeah.
'Cause it's all anonymous. You don't know who like reported you or like, I don't know. Just ugh.
Yeah, the brewery, and then I hang out a little bit in the hop growers area too, just because I just started some hops last year, so try to get some good information from different sources, But other than that, I kind of steer clear of it.
Do you guys subscribe to craft beer and brewing?
No.
No.
It's a good magazine. The recipes are all vague. It's all like mash at 152, boil for an hour. But there's good places that they showcase in there. There's cool spots I've actually gone to, from like going to New Orleans or something. Somebody will get a good write up and I'll check it out. They cook with beer and stuff like that. But it's, for the price tag of a magazine, like it's taking a shit. You'll read it. It'll keep your attention. What up, Dano Stubby? What up, Brunch?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
When's the last time you guys read a brew book?
Oh gosh.
A year
I
ago?
always kind of reference like the Element series.
You read all 4 of those?
Not entirely, but I own all 4. Yeah.
What did you read, Alias?
Um,
The Complete
can't
Joy of
remember it.
Homebrew.
I have it in my book stand by my bed, but it's just a recipe book mostly, and it was just to get ideas of like a new beer that's just like kind of want to try something, and I just wasn't seeing anything I really was like fancying on YouTube, so I was just like, all right, let me just look through this book and see what they got.
A lot of those books are like that. Like the second half is just a lot of recipes where they talk about the history of the style or something, which is good to know. Vienna lagers or Pilsen coming from or Pilsner coming from Pilsen and where these places are. But a lot of it's kind of the same. A lot of styles are kind of the same. Like we do a couple beers at work, and like I don't think I can really tell the difference anymore between like Dunkel lagers and Marzens and Oktoberfest and Fest beers. I mean, it's all kind of just the same.
The lines are blurred. Yeah.
The lines
Yeah, it starts to blend in.
And at this point, like I would just call it whatever it's going to sell the best. What do people recognize the most? Like let's just call it that style. Dunkel lager. Maybe not call it a Dunkel. Maybe throw a lager after that. Fest beer.
forgot.
Like, what's the closest thing that I just brewed? Let's slap that name on it.
Yeah, like somebody asked me one time, what's the difference between a porter and a stout? And it's like, well, it's gone back and forth a lot since I've been in the game. One of them used roasted barley. One of them had a higher ABV at one time, and I'm like, just forget all that. Like, use whatever sells the best. Like we were talking last week about how New England IPAs a lot of the times now they don't even use New England. They just call it juicy
Or hazy.
Juice. Yeah, and I looked that up, and I'm going to make a video of that. And I couldn't believe how many beers are called that. Juice Caboose, Orange Julius. Is that Treehouse?
Julius. Yeah.
Is that kind of a play on? Like, what is Julius?
Yep. Yeah, it's a play off that old, like, at the mall, the Orange Julius little kiosk.
That makes me think of definitely the smoothie from the 90s, right? Orange Julius.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's kind of the beer that we brewed, which I need to get one because I've got way too much beer.
Wow.
The Homebrewer's Garden. Shout out to the Bra Show, man. Trent, when's your next video? I know you're taking a little hiatus, as with everybody right now.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
King Julius. Juice is loose.
Yeah, I think that all works.
Nick
That's really good
Keene.
beer.
I moved up to 10-gallon system, and learning efficiency is my number one issue right now. Recirculate it, and if you can't, still are having problems with that, just hit it with dry malt extract. Get over here! Or liquid malt extract. That's the easiest thing to do.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
Hit it with anything. Come here! Hit it with honey. Hit it with table salt. Juicifer gnarly barley. Jizz juice. I highly doubt something's called that, but
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like
You
beer
never
that much.
know.
I'm gonna go fill one of my homebrews. I'll be right back. I'll be back.
Right, hell yeah.
Somebody named their beer that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
You sneaky sly dog. You sly dog.
I'll be here all
Oh.
week.
Dude,
What
this
are you
IPA is
drinking now?
really good.
German Pilsner from one of my very, very favorite breweries, Schilling. They're out of New Hampshire. I just can't get. Actually, I'm wearing their stupid hoodie right now.
Nice.
You
Wow,
say
what
you got
beer's up?
nothing.
I don't know if you said it already. If you did, I apologize. And there we have to drink.
Cheers.
What are you drinking, Jaeger?
I'm-
Jagger, my bad.
Jaeger. Yeah, there you go. You just answered your own question.
all
Let's
right.
drink it. Who's
Uh,
want some Jaeger?
I'm I'm drinking my Belle Saison.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've really grown to love this one. I didn't like it at the very beginning. Took a little bit for it to kind of really develop into a nice kind of phenolic beer.
Yeah, saisons take a little bit of time.
Yeah,
Sounds awesome. Though. I haven't tried that yeast yet. It's on a long list of yeast to try in terms of saison.
beware of that stall. I experienced it. Everybody talked
Oh,
about it.
yeah?
I was like, oh, I got this. No, it happened.
Yeah, it happened to me with the DuPont. Not as bad as I've heard other people's, but yeah, it stalled. I think around like 1025 or something like that.
Oh wow. I
But
I had
it
I
finished
wasn't
eventually.
I wasn't taking readings while I was brewing it. It just stopped, and then like I was back there in the back, and I heard it take back off like a few days later. I was like, well, shit, there we go.
Yeah. Plus, it's always like nice where you're at, right? So, I mean, it's not like a temperature thing. It's just, I don't know,
Yeah,
time to wake up again.
yeah.
Ollie, a couple things about your New England IPA, man. Don't use what do we use? Safe Ale 04 or 05?
Yeah, no, I'm using.
Don't use that for hazy. Look at this.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was the option we were left with.
Oh,
Either
yeah.
that or 05.
Yeah, I got a new.
I think I'm using White Labs 007. What is that?
What's
Dry
the
English yeast. Yeah,
what's-
that's
what's
the one I'm using.
Why?
Some sort of nail.
White Labs or or
White Labs.
Thanks, Brewing Bad. What's up, Brunch? Did you
English
see that?
ale yeast. That's what I'm using. Yeah.
Tennessee.
Oh,
in the
that
house.
reminds me. I took your recommendation, CH, and I bought some London Fog. I'm gonna use that for the first time for my next hazy.
That was I think that was the
buddy,
best one. Yeah. What is that one
yeah.
like the 059? White Labs has way too
Yeah,
many.
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
It is White Labs. That's another thing. I don't normally use White Labs. I usually use 1318 from Y East, but I don't know. Just
London
figured-
Fog is WLP's 066.
066. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, you might be in a tough spot. A lot of people in here because White Labs, they've got, where are they at? They're out of San Diego, and I think they're out of Asheville. So I'm
They're
close
out of
to.
North Carolina as well. Yeah.
That's Asheville.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm close to them. So I've got a good homebrew store, a new homebrew store that I haven't been
Did
to.
you go
but
to
I-
the new one yet?
No, but I called them and I asked if they had all my stuff, and they said yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a big move. Yeah, so sorry, little lady with the cats over there selling the fire waters to the moon, to the moon
yeah,
shiners.
Valley.
Yeah, you're not going to see my business unless it's like a freak rainy day. But It's Rex says K97 is fire for a hazy. What brand is that?
Who said
Fermented,
that?
I believe.
K97. See, K-97.
The only one that I ever used for a
That's
hazy
Safe
was
Ale.
Yeah, Fermentus. Yeah.
Really?
the
Uh-huh.
Cosmic Punch.
Yeah, I haven't fucked with any of the.
I wanna
Omegas.
play
Actually,
around
no,
with
I
some
think
of the
back
Omega
stays on
stuff,
Parfait, I
'cause
think
we-
it's Omega.
I do get that here in Austin, so
Do you have a preference towards yeast that you use in your brews, guys?
Whatever I can get. And I don't really brew anymore, so it's really whatever I can get. But
always liked White Labs. They've always been on the expensive side, but I've
Yeah.
always really enjoyed. I've never had any issues with their yeast.
they were like the first ones.
Y yeast, I used to like them a lot, but I kind of got annoyed with that slap pack, and I never knew if I did it right
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, you just gotta learn to ignore it. Just like make a starter. Fuck that thing.
Yeah,
That's what
Yeah.
I do.
and then Omega, I've had nothing but good with them as well.
Where is Omega? That's Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think so.
believe they're
Indiana?
up in the Midwest.
They're in the Midwest. Yeah, I'm gonna do. What was the yeast that you recommended for the stout, Thin Mint Stout, Jaggers?
So I was gonna use Irish Ale, but
Chris
I ended
Vodka.
up using West Coast Ale 1, like a Chico strain. So unfortunately my local brew store ran out of the Irish Ale. Someone came in and bought up like 4 packs in one day. So kind of beat me to it.
Motherfuckers. Omega Chicago. What up, Chris Vodka in the house? Ron Barnes, St. Louis. Chicago IL.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm
Yep,
gonna do.
there it is, yeah.
I'm gonna do that brew day, but I'm gonna do a no chill. I'm gonna go from. I don't know.
I do no chill all the
Kettle
time.
to like keg.
I'm gonna go no chill
You
to
go
that.
corny.
To that crate. I mean, you could do it with a corny, but I've got one of those new claw hammer corny.
Oh, you get the
kegs.
claw hammer keg, right?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm still trying to figure out why would somebody would use that over just a regular corny keg. But What's up?
I
The
just
added options, basically.
I
It's got
just
a
throw my
couple bells and
lid
whistles.
on it, flame out, and let it ride out.
You put your lid on, it flame out, and then you just let the whole boil kettle get back to room temperature.
Like room temperature.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
and you just let it sit outside for half a day.
No,
You're
I
in
let
Austin.
it get down to. Well, I'm further south.
Does that mean it's
I let
colder
it get.
or hotter?
It'd be warmer.
It depends. It's mostly warmer majority of the time,
Closer
but
to Mexico.
180 or so. I'll bring it inside and just let it do its deal.
Bring it inside so you've got your air conditioning. Just keep it at the room ambient temperature. I'm going to do it
Yeah.
faster. I'm going to pour it into a corny keg, and then I'm going to cap
Yeah.
it, and then I'm going to put it into a chest freezer at whatever, preferably 35 degrees, just so I can get it colder
Like at
faster.
fridge temperature kind of thing.
Yeah, and you were saying in that
Right.
thin mint, on your thin mint recipe, you started at 48 and move it up 2 degrees every couple days till you get to 72. Or you
No,
get to-
no, it was 58.
You start at
so,
58.
Yeah, so on this one, I went ahead and chilled it down because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any off esters. I was really reliant on the grain bill, the hops, and my tinctures and everything to kind of bring everything out on it, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't want any off flavors from fermentation. Most of the time, I don't track those anyways. I've found a few of them from time to time, but I wanted to make sure that this thing had as clean as fermentation as possible. So I kind of have this like rigged together, kind of cool fermentation setup with lagering capabilities on it.
Wow.
And so I ran it down to 58. I pitched it. I let it free rise to 60. And then every 2 days, I just bumped it up 2 degrees and kind of just let it go until it hit 72. I held that for a few days, I believe, and then
You got to be done with fermentation by then, right?
right. Well, then I let it hang out at 75 for about 3 days, and then packaged and mixed in my my tinctures.
So you're saying you do this a lot, your no boil, because I feel like it's such a better way as far as hassle goes. Because once you get your beer into your corny
You mean
keg,
no chill, right?
Oh, no chill. Sorry, no chill.
Yeah.
Once you get it into your corny keg, and
I
they're
do,
like,
I do no boil too, but
what's that? Raw ale, raw dog ale.
yeah, I do raw ale.
Raw dog ale.
What's up with raw dog ale? Noma saying
dog
breweries
ale,
are doing that these days. No boils.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's a brewery around here that does it really well.
What's the deal with that? Have you guys had the beer? I mean, not your homebrew, but commercial beer.
Yeah, delicious. It's like we've talked about it briefly, but there's like an added mouthfeel to the beer.
Yes.
It's
hard to describe like that added mouthfeel. It's like nothing that you've ever had before.
for sure. Yeah, it's very
And-
different. Very different.
My raw ale won a local homebrew competition on People's Choice.
Raw
Like
dog.
there was people out there that were like professional breweries, and like people were like, oh hey, this dude's got a really good beer just because I brought something that nobody else had ever had before.
Yeah, I've been. I want to pick your brain probably off stream sometime on that because I'm looking to attempt that as well. I want to get involved. I love those types of experiments. So
Noam,
doing it.
I have a YouTube channel. You should subscribe. There's some videos about that.
Oh, okay. Oh, shots fired. Let me watch those videos.
I don't really like beer that much.
So I want to give that a go, and that would kind of debunk a lot of everything, myths, commercial techniques.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
I catch a
don't
lot
really
of
like beer
flack
that much.
around a lot of local people that like, oh, you're just trying to infect your beer and all that. And I'll tell you the truth. I've had more infected beers having actually like proper chilled beer and like fermented out and all that than I ever have with no chill and no boil. So I've had, knock on wood, 0 infections on that side on anything that I've not chilled. And, I've had 2 beers that I've actually chilled down and done everything right get infected. So, I guess sanitation at that point, but
But what's the name of the game? I mean, do you boil? Do you mash in? I'm sorry. Do you mash in at a higher temperature? Or are you worried about any bacteria under 180 degrees?
It would pasteurize anyways.
Exactly, and pasteurization has its own deals. You know, pasteurization, like you can there's many schools of thought. So I like 168 over 15 minutes and call that pasteurized. That's better than what they do for milk, right?
Yep.
Now, you know, there's all kinds of different methods,
Look,
and you
I'm
just
gonna
kind
be
of
honest. I
gotta
don't really
do
like
a little
beer
bit
that
more
much.
research and just kind of go with what you feels right there.
I'm going to go with your word of mouth. I'm going to go with your guys' trial and error because this sounds very interesting. And I mean, if you no boil, no chill brew days, I mean, what are you brewing and cleaning up in about 2 hours from milling?
No, so like mash, my mash on my raw ales are 75 minutes, and
Oh shit! Okay, now I gotcha.
and then you know, I'll pasteurize for, you know, about 15 minutes, and then because I'm no chilling it, then I'm pretty much done. Now I do a hop tea in addition to the raw ale, and then I put that in kind of closer to like what you would do for mash out. Oh, excuse me, and run it that way. And so I think that kind of offers another
Back
layer
off,
of
war child,
protection there.
seriously.
Also some balance, I would think, because like you're
Yeah.
not doing any sort of you know, boil side bittering additions. Like you could mash hop to add a little bit of balance, but that's
You
actually a
could.
great idea to you know,
And-
the hop tea idea is great.
And traditionally, people will like use those like juniper berries and juniper bushes or branches and or whatever, and they'll use that to kind of like make an antiseptic type of wort for the yeast to be able to take off in.
Do you think commercial breweries will adopt this? Aside from the couple that are already doing this, do you think this freaks the shit out of too many brewers?
I think it depends on how progressive some people are to the
Yes.
idea. You know,
The style, right?
do it.
It would depend on the style, right? Like,
I would think it would
Well-
be more towards farmhouse or like IPAs. Like
I
that's
could see
what-
IPAs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it opens up a lot of doors because
Do you
of the
think
mouthfeel appeal.
style you could do that? Like,
Do
do you
I?
think you could do like a raw West Coast style IPA?
Yeah.
Because like,
keep in
so
mind,
would
I
you
think
just go to that 180 for like an hour to?
You want to be careful with your temperatures though, because like so all the research that I did, like DMS starts to form, you know, like the anything over like 165 or I'm sorry, like 170, 175 right there. So, you know, you got to keep those temperatures kind of like under that DMS.
Right. And then, but how do you get that bitterness then?
Through the hop tea. So like my hop tea, instead of boiling like, you know, like 7.5 gallons worth of wort, I take 2 quarts of wort or 2 quarts of water, and I have a 60-minute addition, and then I have a 5-minute addition. I throw, you know, my yeast nutrients in that just to make sure everything's sanitized, and then
Right.
I'll add that in towards the end of the mash.
See, that's why back in the day we used to have 60-minute mashes. It was to like kill all the DMS off, and it was to get a a higher percentage beer. But I don't know what hop tea is. But what about is hop oils the same thing?
No, I don't think so. Like hop oil is probably made a lot differently. And I say that because I don't know. You know, I would
Sooner or
think that
later-
the extraction is different. You know,
Yeah, I think sooner or later people are going to figure this out, regardless, and someone's going to make a ton of money selling beer, and then others will follow. So it seems like this would be perfect for homebrewers to do or try.
I'm an advocate of everybody trying it at least once and seeing.
I'm an advocate for that
you
even
come up with.
outside of homebrewing.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice.
I think right. I think
Nose nachos?
I think
No, I'm kidding.
I think one of the things though that you do have to watch out
Noses?
though is just you have a slightly shorter shelf life with the brew. I noticed like
You got to
in
turn it over
mine-
faster.
Well, I noticed in mine, like say like probably by about week 5 or so, it started to unravel a little bit. You know, it wasn't quite the same. nice, like full bright beer
That's a
that it was
huge
originally.
problem for commercial breweries, let alone people that
Yeah.
have, long
But
lines of distribution avenues. But for home brewers, that's not a. I mean, depends how much
But-
beer you can
Or like
churn
a
over.
community brewery, that would be something they could do, like to keep things
but
fresh.
but I bottle conditioned it and it was fully carved and ready to go in a week.
Look at Northwest Small Batch Brewing. You see Genus's new video? He says boil for 4 hours. Peter would say that.
Wow.
Hey, however you get there is however you get there. I've been saying that since day one,
Right.
man. You want to?
that was what I did
Yeah.
with my last stout. Actually, 4.5 hours.
Did you
You're-
notice?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
4 hours, man. Would you
Four
cut
and a
your
half.
batch in half?
Well, so I brewed like a 10.5 gallon batch, but then normally I do full volume.
This was your 36 pounds
matches.
of grain.
So I purposely sparged to increase the pre-volume boil. Boil volume, and then that way I could boil for hours. So the gravity wasn't affected too much from the sparge. It just allowed me to like really condense that wort to make it like a big beer. Plus, like you gotta think about like my system. Yeah, it can do 15 gallons, but like that's like 15 gallons of like 4%, maybe 5% beer. To do 10, 11 gallons of like really high gravity beer is a little bit more difficult. But so that's why I did the long boil, or a huge reason why I should say.
What do you think, Aliaz? You sold on this? You got peace of mind? Are you going to wait a little bit longer and let the wheel keep getting churned?
I
I mean,
on like the raw ale and stuff.
yeah, I mean, how often do you brew? If you're brewing once a month and you've got a recipe dialed in with the techniques and the times, is it worth maybe doing one side by side or?
Yeah,
got
I
that
think
stuff.
it'd be cool to like. I think would be really cool is like do a recipe, right? Where you do
I don't really like beer that
I think
much.
something that doesn't need like crazy hoppiness or stuff like that. Like bringing in the hop tea and all that, I think that complicates things.
Can someone throw
So
hop
if
tea
you
in the
can do,
chat?
like-
Jaggers, can you throw that in the chat, the one you buy? Sorry, Alias.
What's that?
Can you throw the hop tea that you recommend that you buy into the chat?
By making himself.
I can
Oh,
make you.
I didn't see it. I saw someone ask me what
can make-
yeast nutrient I use.
I can use.
Uh,
I can
so
make you a
so so
moderator.
the
Wow.
the hop tea is just made with water and hop pellets like you would a boil, like any recipe like you would do like that.
So you just steep the pellets and then you get all your bitterness in
no,
that?
you're actually boiling it like you would wort, and then you throw in your 60-minute addition, let it ride for 60 minutes, and then your 10, 15, whatever minute addition that you
Oh,
would
that
normally
like
do.
Oh, I got
one
it.
quart or 2 quarts of water.
Yeah, I
has
got
that
it. I
bitterness
got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Of
So,
a
so
60-minute boil.
Dude, that's genius.
exactly.
That's fucking
exactly.
genius.
But doesn't that
And-
That's a great idea.
but doesn't that like change your because if it's just water, right? You're
But
gonna
you're
change.
adding it back into your mash
Because you're pretty much
So-
just concentrating it to begin with,
Exactly.
and then you're adding it to the
Oh, so
big
you
picture.
take that
I don't really
water
like beer that much.
initially before the mash, start of the mash,
Just
right?
bring that
Before
to
you add
boil,
your
right?
grains.
and that's I simplified the way that I did the hop tea. That's not the only way to do it, and you've got plenty of other things that you can do too there. I was
Gotcha.
just trying to make what's a beer that I can turn around that's cheap, fast, tastes great, and that I can just knock the fuck out of and drink. And that's this one. Like,
about taking
if
it-
a friend tells me like, "Hey, I got a party that's going to happen in like 3 weeks." Okay, I got a beer for you. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, like what is this? Like where do you go buy
off,
this
poor
at?"
child,
Like,
seriously.
and you're like, "No, you can make this at home and you don't have to have like all the great big equipment that we've all like accumulated,
Can you? How do you guys feel about taking it one step further? I mean, what if you just wanted to prep a bunch of hop tea the night before, and then maybe freeze it? I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's going to go into 168-degree water, so you don't really have to kind of worry about the bacteria. But could you actually just put it in like popsicle format, like just freeze
Well, it'd be
these?
so concentrated with alpha acids that you wouldn't have to worry about any bacteria, I would think.
right?
Yeah.
But if
Because
you
it's
freeze
naturally
it,
like,
yeah, and if you also freeze it, it's going to be the same thing as heat. You're not surviving the heat. If you freeze it, your fucking bacteria is going to get killed off anyways.
I want to mention real quick.
Bull
Tom Alvarado,
Semen IPA. I'm a giant beat.
I don't really like beer that much.
I'm on his team.
Hot water is also a great idea, or not hot water, but like hop tea is a great idea to just like kind of get a sense of what hops provide as well. Like
Correct.
it's something you can use a small amount of hops and gain like knowledge
Sounds like expensive tea.
without having to like
Back
brew a
off,
batch of
child,
beer.
seriously.
What up, Stephen Plass? How are you, man? James Pillar, much love. Welcome to the chat tonight. We're 45 minutes in. Feels like we've been here for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's gone by fast today.
All y'all, let's chug a beer, man. Let's get fucking silly and stupid.
I don't really like
Let's
beer
be
that
down.
much.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go get
I've
a.
been sober for too many streams and
Yeah,
I need
you
to, like turn up.
are you 100%? 100%? Are you not sick anymore? Are you 100%? 100%?
I'm like 95%. I still have like a little bit of like an ear infection kind of thing, which is annoying, but other than that, it's fine.
Can we chug a beer?
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
So I just opened. I'm sure there's a lot of people from like Richmond, I think, in here usually, but the Veil. Never gonna get it. One of their mixed berry gozes.
Ooh, nice. Is that what you're drinking now?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for fruited sours.
No, you're just a sucker. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's true. You got me.
I got a dildo of
Oh, Jesus.
something hazy. I got 2 of these at my liquor store or at the corner store right down there, 2 for $4. So that's
Nice.
That's
The
a
Sierra Nevada?
yeah, it's $1 a beer, right? Because
Dude, that's awesome.
this is 19.2. But hey, still a killer price.
Pretty close.
Yeah. We're cheers,
I
man.
love Hazy Little Thing. I love that beer.
It's the best, man. I'm thinking about making a video on just like the best beers in circulation. And I wanted to talk to you guys. I want to get like a homie from Pacific Northwest, Northeast, the South, Texas, Midwest. I'm like, what do you guys drink down there? Like, what is kind of big enough that is like this? Is like hazy
You know
little
what's
something?
like one of my favorite go-to beers?
Ken Grossman's the man.
Founder's All Day IPA.
Okay.
Yes,
I
Really good
love that beer.
yeah,
I don't really like beer
summer,
that
like
much.
easy drinking beach beer for
It
sure.
is like because like most session IPAs I've had are just like super bland. Like the hop
pitcher.
flavor is very very minimal. It's very watery. Like it's almost like they just added like a shit ton of water to their normal IPA recipe.
They just
Whereas this
diluted
feels
it.
like an actual like recipe that was made to be a session IPA. Because like the hop flavor is there, the bitterness is there, and it's only like 4.5%. And it's like
Hell
you
yeah,
can
Sterling.
easily drink this IPA
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really
like-
like beer that much.
literally all day. It's fantastic, and you not get like fucking shit faced.
And I think I get more burned out on West Coast IPAs. I know that I made a video on that, giving love to Swami's, but I think if I was stuck on a deserted island with craft beer, I mean, it would have to be Pilsner. Something would have to be Pilsner. You'd go crazy if it wasn't
Something
Yeah.
light.
something
I
light.
feel like.
Something light. And
Yeah.
it couldn't be a sour, as much as I love sours.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is like that all day IPA. Like me and a buddy, like we killed like a 15 pack, and that's what I'm thinking. I love. They come in 15 packs, not 12 packs, but 15 packs.
15 pack of cans.
Yes,
The other thing about that
you can
beer
take
that's
them anywhere.
good is that
Yeah.
you don't miss the lack of body. Like normally
Right.
in an IPA, you'd be like, "Oh, this doesn't quite have the mouthfeel or the body," but it is sessionable and it doesn't take away from the beer. If that makes any sense, it's not like
Correct.
You're not,
Yeah. It doesn't
would
make it
normally
seem
get
like
IPA.
it's because like a lot of session beers can be empty almost. They
Yeah.
just feel like, I just wish it gave me a little bit more of oomph or something.
I
That's a good question too. You never really do know if hops are rotating. Sometimes they let you know, which is kind of stupid. I don't want to know. If they change up the recipe for whatever. Blind Pig is probably like my favorite Halo beer. Like outside of the realm of kind of difficult to find. So if I do see a Blind Pig, I'll get it. But are they changing their hops up? I think ignorance is bliss in that regard, unless I was actually going to try to brew the recipe. But I wouldn't be surprised if they changed them up all the time. Ron Barnes.
Well, if it's like a flagship beer that uses a hop that's very like year to year, then yeah, they're gonna probably have to like mix in
Yeah.
to like kind of balance out the flavor and aroma profile to try to match what it should be. That's like next level shit though. That's like, you know, your Sierra Nevada type level companies are doing that. If it's your local brewery and they can't get that hop anymore or it's not quite the same, they probably just avoid making that beer.
But even if they did have to change it up, and we were the owners of whatever, we're the owners of Russian River Brewery, I don't know if I'd want to tell people that. I don't think it would break hearts if they knew like, oh, this is a different thing. Even same as going for wine or something, you know, like, oh, they didn't use all the Bordeaux blends or this and that. It's like, well, I still got the bottle of the goddamn thing, you know? I mean, I don't think I would.
Even better, you hope they don't realize it.
Even better. That's what I'm saying. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is barrage.
If they're like,
Back off or
something
child
off on
seriously.
this, then like you didn't really do as good a job.
Right, right.
And at the end of the day, when people come in to breweries that I've worked at and they're like, oh, this is barrel aged. Like, yeah, it's barrel aged. 99% of the people are like, okay, I get it. There's the 1% they're like, well, what was it in? Was it French oak? Was it maple? Was it Hungarian? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, man.
Yeah.
But if you start saying, like, yeah, it's in like Hungarian oak or something, you got to kind of roll with that every year. So maybe let's just leave it at barrel age. So, like, whatever we get our greasy hands on, we could just, you know, put it in that and, like, we'll leave it alone. But that's kind of a thing in the wine industry. It's like, well, where does the wood come from? You know, there's American, there's French oak, there's I think
This distillery had a
Hungarian's the most
sale this
expensive.
year. You know, I've seen a lot of that. You know, like breweries using different barrels from different like bourbon whiskey makers and stuff like that. So then they go back and try to blend them from year to year.
dude, I'm stoked anytime it's in a barrel. Like I went to
Yeah.
me and Apartment Steve went to what's the Budweiser place in Nashville that's sold out. They just do all sours. It's a phenomenal place. I recommend it to anybody.
A wicked weed.
Wicked Weed. You're like, whoa, this is barrel aged in like tequila or mezcal. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the hell. Sure, right? Yeah. Like, oh, I can't drink this now. I'm used to a barrel aged guy that's done it in bourbon barrels. I don't know about this this mezcal thing. I'll just go with a Coors Light. I'll just go with a Bud Light lime.
Coors. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Coors.
nice lime.
What up, Jersey Josh? Jersey Joshua sounds like the name of a porn star.
Nugget
Come on down, Jersey Josh.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
Jersey
beer's,
Joshua
like,
IPA.
Clean
I'm
in a
like-
weird way.
I'm like, hey, I threw some wood chips in here that I took a torch to and toasted them myself. You're welcome.
Chris Radiation. Nah, but educated wine drinkers know that each year is different. Oh, for sure. But that's the 0.001%, man.
Yeah,
That's
very
the
small,
that's the
folks.
bottle shop, guys. Favorite craft beer, hazy IPA. That's a style, not a brand.
Barrels of neutral juices. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, swinging swords.
yeah, I mean, I would say maybe 2 to 3, but it depends. There's breweries that only use them once and then they're done with
Yeah.
them. They toss them aside. They want nothing to do with them.
Or they
And there's
sell
some
them as
breweries that
tables.
will do two second uses, but blend it back with the first uses to try and get like some extra cost efficiency.
Man, y'all better hold up if I can ever get a hold of a barrel. I'll get like 10 batches out of that sumbitch.
I'll make a
Yeah.
I'll make a man cave out of it and turn it into a little Nintendo 64
I don't really
station.
like beer that much.
What up, Walt
Some
Longmire?
cardboard
What up,
boxes
Priya?
around it.
Hell yeah.
Well, another thing too is like, yeah, you might not get the spirit character, and then
Right.
you'll get the oat character, but then at some point you might not get the oat character, but still, like, it is its own
Chris
culture
Radiation.
and ecosystem in a way.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever you pitched or whatever's been in that barrel is now in the wood, unless
And
you
that's
like.
that's what interested me the most. Like, I swear to God, if I had the room for a barrel, oh my God. Like, you thought I brewed a lot now?
Oh, you definitely do for sure. Like I've been talking to these guys like about you for like I don't know, about a month. I'm like, this dude like brews every fucking couple days. it seems.
Yeah, Gnome vouched, man. Gnome got you on.
Yeah.
Gnome's the gamekeeper, the gatekeeper.
I
Uh,
hadn't brewed anywhere near like I did last year that I did this year. I mean, this year I've brewed probably about half as much.
Hey, speaking of which, while we're talking about wine barrels and stuff, what are the gallons of those? Because when we talk about barrels and beer, we're talking about 31.
I think
Gallon.
commercial, the smallest you can buy is like 15, but they go up to like 55, 50.
But the tables that they have at
Yeah.
wineries and breweries, those are 55 gallons. The ones that they
Those are about 50, 55, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, something. I think it's 53, 56, something like that. But there's even bigger ones than that.
I don't
There's
really
like
like beer that
massive oak puncheons that are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the ones that
at
are
Chris, I have a lot of thirsty
Back off, poor
friends.
child, seriously.
That's how I get unload all
Oh, is
the
that,
beer.
is
See,
that-
I don't
That's
have
a good
that.
question. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
curious myself.
I don't
man,
have that.
like, and where do you put all this beer?
Uh,
Damn.
I have a system.
Must have
It's
like a warehouse full of glass bottles or something.
Yeah, so it's like 3 deep and like well, okay, so it's like 3 over, 2 back, and 5 up in bottles.
are you
God
selling
damn.
your stuff to distilleries?
No,
Does anybody do that? Does anybody brew enough where they actually have to just give it to distilleries?
it's illegal, sir.
Well, yeah, but it's only illegal if you get
Yeah.
caught. I'm sure that there's
Right?
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Not
What,
today,
like,
Mr.
brew enough
ATF.
beer?
You would have to
Like,
be brewing
you
so
brew
much
beer and end
though.
up getting, like,
I came
bad
pretty close to
beer.
the limit last year.
What's the
Yeah.
legal limit for homebrewers?
Yeah, it's like I think 400 gallons. I think it is.
It depends
or
how many
something like that a year.
adults live in your house.
Is that federal or
Yeah.
state?
This is a
Yeah.
Kyle. This is a Clawhammer question, but yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was he made a video about that with Martin. It was like barely. No, that was the one that it was like 14%. But there is a legal limit of how much you can brew. But
Yeah.
like if you get busted for that, you had sex with the cop's
Yeah, it's
girlfriend in high school. It would be a very personal
it's an
thing.
additional
Yeah.
charge.
Hero in the brewing
Yeah.
game.
If a cop,
Right.
if a
Yeah,
cop,
if they're going that
Celebrate
deep, like
yeah.
they must be really
I don't really like
fucking
beer that
bored out
much.
of their mind, or you did something really wrong to them.
You had sex
Right.
with somebody's girlfriend at a bar, and she was married to a cop or a mayor or somebody. But other than that, like you'd have to be the biggest brown noser cop to bust somebody for that, and it's almost impossible to get. Like, how would they know? How they've been following you every week, and they've seen your yield and what you're doing with it.
They you on
Yeah.
Instagram,
Guys,
or
brewing an awful lot.
they did the math on YouTube and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Chris Radiation, this is getting flagged. It's coming
Back
down.
off, war child, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serpico is going to take us down in the morning.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer.
What
that
up, G60? 100 gallons per legal age and household. Yeah, but that's if you're one person. I think if you have like a wife or something, you could chalk it up as two. But honestly, it's not even. This
Yeah,
would be a
I've
question
definitely
probably 80 years ago or 100 years ago. But nowadays,
Last year for sure, I did over 100
I
gallons.
think I
Right.
may have come close. I don't know, probably like 60 to 7 gallons, like 70 gallons, like total, meaning like kegs in the fermenters, like stuff conditioning, stuff like that. But it's kind of hard.
Wait,
to
is
get to
that
100
for the
gallons.
whole year or like
it's
in
for a
one-
Yeah.
year. It's for a year.
No, just
For the year.
but how
Oh,
are they
I've
supposed to know when does your year
100 gallons
start?
for the year. I'm definitely over that.
Does it all?
Right.
Does it start January 1st, or is it like when your first batches? Is it like 365
Holy
days?
shit.
Yeah, it's impossible to get busted.
You're
but,
kidding me, right? Though
No, there's
it's 100 gallons per year.
Yeah.
Is it that low?
I don't
thought
know
it
how
was
much
more.
that is.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
Sterling B. That's what
Almost like
Clawhammer
I've
Kyle's
drank
was
like
saying.
50 times
I'm gonna
that
be
a
I'm
year.
not
honest.
gonna
I
say
really
a
like
word
beer that
after.
Yeah, I got to go
we'll
scrub
stop
some
it.
stuff off the old Instagram page. I'll be right back, guys.
But how is that? How is that any dumber than you just having like buying 1,000 bottles of Jägermeister? You could have 1,000 bottles of Jägermeister at your house, but you're not allowed to have 100 gallons of beer over a year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't really like beer.
I
that
thought it was
much.
at one time, meaning like at your disposal, like not like throughout 12 months. That's insane.
Northwest knows what's up.
I was
Look,
way
I'm
off.
gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
Yeah, Paul Martinelli.
Is that a federal law or is that a state
Yes.
law?
No, it's federal.
That's a good question.
It's federal.
This is
Gotcha.
definitely coming down.
Reagan's gonna get us, man. Who is it? Reagan's
We're all-
brother,
Yeah, let's go.
I gotta be honest, I
I'm
don't give a
already a
fuck.
terrorist, so it's okay.
Jimmy
Right.
Carter. If you got busted for homebrewing, you'd be the fucking
Yeah.
man. Like you
That's
would
what I'm
have
saying,
some
man.
killer operation going on. You would have some like what was that movie Lawless? You'd have some crazy underground cave. You'd have some Dallas.
You'd have like
Dallas
you would
Buyers
have
Club.
a brewery in your own house, pretty much. Like you would have people coming to your house, like
Back off,
every
child,
Friday,
seriously.
Saturday.
So you would
like,
have some thirsty friends.
We're talking
you would have
nose
a
beers. We're talking
lot of
ass and
friends,
titties,
and if you were
strippers,
charging them too.
big old
Like
fake
you ran it like
titties.
a brewery,
Right.
and
Where
just
do I
didn't get any
sign?
licensing or anything like that.
Farva has entered the chat. You know, there's
I'm the leader.
There's a really good YouTube channel about people that set up. It's not so much breweries, but bars in their garage. Have you guys followed that channel? They do a really
Yeah.
good job, almost like television, pretty much production value. And they have these loopholes where, like, hey, people can come over, and it's pretty much the Dallas Buyers Club. Like, hey, you guys can drink in my house. You pay a membership, so I'm not legally charging you for my alcohol. And these
Right.
garages are phenomenal.
Mhm,
I don't know why you'd want so many. I don't think it's a stranger thing, but it's your friends or your neighborhood crowd, and they've just figured out ways to beat the system, and I'm all for that. No, it's definitely coming down.
Wow.
Chris Radiation, there's a dude who has a speakeasy in the next neighborhood over. I mean, the day I buy a house, I'm not gonna have a full on speakeasy. I don't know anybody out here. I've got a
I
buddy.
mean, I do like my barbecue every year.
You own a house and you have a neighborhood thing, Alias. I don't have that, and I'll probably never have
Right.
that in Knoxville. I've got one buddy coming into town on Sunday. My buddy from Nashville, who was in the last Homebrew for Life video. But like, we're not going to drink my 3 gallons of beer left. I mean, we might, but I don't think we are.
No, you'll end up just going into town and stuff like that,
We're
right?
gonna go to MOB and do the same stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
when you guys came into town, we didn't really hang out on Gay Street that much. You know, the one that's got the Tennessee sign that's vertical.
Yeah.
More of kind of like a cocktail place over there. But I've found some cool places in there since you guys took off. Like I had a couple Manhattans at this underground bowling alley the other night, and it was
Ooh, that
fun.
sounds awesome.
It was awesome. It was phenomenal. Next
I'll
time you
love
guys,
going
Underground
bowling.
bowling alley?
yeah,
Burnt myself.
Like,
yeah, it
like-
was awesome.
Like it's underground or it's like illegal.
It's when you walk into the street, you
go
go
downstairs.
you go downstairs. It's not.
Yeah.
yeah.
it's
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. It looked like one of the nicer places I've seen in Knoxville.
Back off, war child, seriously.
All right, I'm gonna grab another beer.
Hell yeah, you are. We got 71 people here, man. Let's get wrecked.
Just need to get a beer too.
Nose
Nosies,
beers.
nosies, nose nachos, drag
I wish.
garage buyers club. I'm gonna upload that drag queen video I did on this channel soon, tomorrow.
Yeah, fuck it.
Shout out to Northwest Small Batch, always showing love, man. Thanks for the comment you left me on that YouTube video too, man. You were one of the first guys that commented on that video, and it's bombing too. So thank you, sir. That last video I put out is eating some shit. So life goes on. We'll get back on the pen to paper horse and start writing some more shitty CH jokes. Bullshit. But thank you, NWS. NW Small Batch. I think he's got 2 names. I think on
You know
YouTube.
what? That's what you should do. You should do some open mic comedy in Tennessee. You should,
Me?
Like break out some of the jokes.
No.
Yeah, I know you still got some in you.
No.
Really?
No. All my bullshit goes on YouTube, man. And I think my dad won't talk to me anymore because of my homebrew for life stuff.
I don't really like beer that much.
No, he'll talk to me. He just he doesn't like me seeing drinking all these beers on YouTube. But I tell him this is all it's all.
There you go, CH.
Are we
Fun
NBCing?
and
It's all
games.
for show, pops. I mean, until it's Wednesday night, then
Yeah.
Are we NBCing?
I'm not chugging this.
Oh, did I freeze? What the fuck?
Oh, is that the
You guys
Thin
hear
Mint? Now you have to
Yeah.
chug it.
No, dude. This is a sipper. It's a nice.
Oh shit.
We get down with some
That was
sippers.
different. Are you from Rhode Island, bro?
What are we talking about?
Negative.
You get the pinky in the air.
Joe Simmons went to Foolproof. Foolproof is like
Nick Keen, see it. You're decent. Thanks,
half a
Raj.
mile from where I work.
Last video is doing horrible, but I think it's because I burned up the thumbnail last week on the Hoppy Hour, so I think it might be okay in the morning. I don't know, but people aren't clicking on it. So it says,
Ohio.
you guys see that? It says 7 of 10. 1 green check and then 2 thumbs downs or 2 gray thumbs downs.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah. For some reason, my webcam did shut off. I'm not sure why.
Plug it in. Plug it in. Plug it in. So shout out to anybody who did watch the Homebrew for Life video.
There you
I
go.
watched it.
have
Watched
to
it.
reset.
You watched it, Jaggers? Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jaggers. Much love, man.
I try to
think
watch
it's worth
everybody.
doing.
It's tough. And the
It's
more you
terrible.
try to, you just can't.
Yeah.
The more you like make it, when you subscribe to everyone's channel and you set it to notification, it almost kind of feels like a chore. Like, oh, I got it in my car. I'm not going to watch it now. Oh, I got to go home and watch it. Next thing I know, I've played like Breath of the Wild for 4 hours and watched jerking off to, Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. And it's just like, oh, I'll see it in the morning. And then like more come out and you're just like, damn, you try your best, but
I watch almost like no TV anymore, and I play almost no video games anymore. And like,
How do you do
I
that?
still struggle. Oh man, you know what, dude? I will tell you. So like my personal like YouTube like viewing is on a separate account than Jaggers Brewing Co. because like I had to say like, okay, I've got to take a step back and have like some other content other than just brewing, just to clock out, at midnight or whatever. I'm home from work, just have something different to watch than brewing sometimes. But
you're dedicated.
I try to be. I wanna learn more and share what I know.
So what's your main goal, Jaggers? Do you want to open up a brewery? Is this to win
No.
homebrewing competitions? Is this just
This
a
is-
passion project?
This is me kind of giving back to the community, honestly, what I try to do. There's a lot of places that it's hard to find some information. There's some things that are intimidating, if you go and look at some people's channels, they're
Back off, war child. Seriously.
they're brewing on like 50-gallon systems and they take 6 hours to clean and all that other kind of stuff. I want to show a little bit like how approachable homebrewing is to some extent. And there's some experiments that I had my first video was a bunch of kettle sour Berliner Weiss, and like when I was making these 3 beers, I was like, man, what happens if you pull a little bit of the lacto off the wort before you go to your second boil and you repitch that into another wort? What happens? I found out, and I like to do those type of things that are a little harder to find, some resources too.
Well, I feel like you're probably the gnarliest home brewer I've ever met who's trying to reinvent the wheel. Is there something kind of pushing that, kind of getting away from traditional resources
I
from
do
10 years
go
ago?
about doing things the hard way.
Oh, it sounds like you're doing it the easy way. Sounds like you're doing it the easy way because you're giving me all these shortcuts to shave
Sometimes.
hours off my homebrew.
Look, I'm going to be honest.
Sometimes,
I don't really like beer that
I
much.
have failures too, though. It's not all
Right.
rainbows and sunshine either.
Yeah, but you're doing the experimentation for others, and like
Because it
that
takes
makes it easier.
fucking
People
up.
can learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah, it takes
Right,
fucking
yeah.
up. Yeah.
yeah, I do all the stupid shit so you don't have to.
All right, man. Raw Dog Hazy IPA, Nose Beers Brown Ale. Let's do it. Northwest Small Batch
white
just
I-
became a member for 2
White
months,
IPA
man.
or white stout.
Oh, I got a BrewTuber award. I got a BrewTuber that parties the hardest, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
voted for you on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Man, I promised myself I wouldn't cry, man. But big shout out to my mom, my dad. They got horny at Mexico's Rosarito Beach Hotel that night.
Canopy. I want to thank the Academy.
No, yeah, Jesus. I'd like to thank John, Jesus, and everybody who is behind every religion. But no, it was funny
Mostly
because
think gnome.
What's that? Sorry.
It said mostly think gnome.
I'd like to thank Noam and Aliash getting fucked up for me every Wednesday and allowing for us to put it on the internet. But it was funny because Trent told me that. He was like, "Oh, you won the BrewTuber award for parties the hardest." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Who else won?" He was like, 90% of them went to doing the most. And I was like, "Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
this is why I don't like
that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't like competitions
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it seems just a wee bit, political."
Yeah.
So does doing the most do it all? Does he run the
He's
whole thing?
done some beer and and I've seen him do like ciders and wines and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, does he run all of these BrewTube Awards things? Because it has to be
Oh.
him or his buddy or something. I mean, it's
I think he's hustling out there. Like he's knows a lot of people and does a lot of things with
Yeah,
a lot of different people. I think he's just got a lot of name recognition out there, you know.
thanks, Stephen Plass. I feel like my award was the only one that was organic, but not trying to talk shit on their whole brewing Academy of Awards.
Dude,
But
if anyone else won
next-
that, it'd be all horseshit.
if anybody else
next-
with it, you know who parties his ass off, which is like low key fucking Gnarls Barkley partying, is Still It. And
Really?
yeah, talk to Jesse about or
Well, he's
talk to.
drinking hard alcohol, so yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was chilling with them, and we were partying in Asheville with Emmett and Kyle, and he popped into our car, and he was just reeking of cigarettes and booze, and he's got the veins in his cheeks and stuff like that, like what you'd see like an old priest rocking, and big guy, younger than me, puffing a mile a minute. I'm bumming cigs off him. I was like, damn, dude, like my CH character is kind of like a character, you know, like I'm pretty much editing or working 5 to 7 nights out of the week, and then I act like an idiot when I'm on camera. But like, I think you like get fucked up off whiskey every day, man. And he's got like 4 kids, so live your life, man. But I'm not here to judge. I'm the last person on planet Earth to judge. But yeah, that dude can suck them down, man. That dude can.
He goes ham.
He goes ham. Oh yeah, yeah, great dude.
Tom Alvarado says I got the best shirts.
He's got the best
Yeah,
what?
of course.
Chris Radiation, man. Super chat from Chris out there, man. Much love to the Pittsburgh Barrage. Still got to go to Pittsburgh,
Look, I'm
man.
gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
1069 on the button. Super chat. Barrage Lord Chris. Much love, you brunch. Thanks, Barrage. Thanks, Chris.
Super chat is neither super nor is it chat. Oh,
I don't know. Maybe I should start drinking more now that I beat Breath of the Wild. That game I
I
put
like
in.
where we're going with this.
Yeah, I think I put like 200 hours into that. And then I was
Can you play drunk?
no.
I get frustrated.
No, I don't. No,
Yeah.
I'll do like Mario Kart and stuff, and I'll smoke everybody.
Oh.
But no, if I'm buzzed or something, and I come home from work or dinner, I won't even watch Game of Thrones because I read everything with the subtitles on, and I know that I'll just like after 5 minutes go back to my phone or rewind something. Like no, like I'm very good at compartmentalizing my life.
I'll be like buzzed and I'll be trying to play like Fallout and I'm like, man, fuck this, dude.
Yeah,
With gaming, there's like again, like there's a limit. Once you break that limit, you become trash. But there's like
Yeah.
in
That's the
between, if
drunken
you're just
chef.
enough buzzed
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like elevated, like you can do some crazy shit because you're kind of more like mellowed out, like not stressed out.
yeah.
You're approaching it in a different way. Like then
It's a
soon
real
as you
thin
have
line.
that next beer, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's a real thin line for me.
And it's weird because when you're by yourself, it's kind of on you. Like when all you guys know them are in town, like we have energy. Let's go. Let's keep going here. When you're by yourself, you're like, you go to shit faster. Like people give you energy.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure,
Right.
yeah.
I don't really like beer that much.
Well, every day we were there, we stayed up till 3:30 a.m. So
I mean,
yeah, I'd say so.
there's a time and a place for everything, man. You know, and when you're on vacation, like in those San Diego vlogs, like half of that shit was true. Like I just partied all night in Nashville, stayed up for 5 hours. I was like, just make it to the flight, and then you pass out for 5 hours. Like when you're on vacation, there ain't no sleeping in. Like you party for 4 days, and then you marinate in shame for that next week and get your life back together and kind of figure that out. That's how I've always kind of done it. And
Thank you, Pruitt, by the way. That's
and I
that's
love
a
it.
great compliment.
Yeah.
Stephen Plass, I did voted for CH most categories. Shout out to Stephen Plass.
Hey,
Shout out to him
nice.
for always supporting the channel, man. We got a lot of people in here right now. I don't think we've had 70 people in here in like a minute.
Chris
I don't
said
really
that
like
we
beer that
need
much.
happy hour awards.
Someone take off their shirt, man.
Back off, war child.
If I made a channel, I would model it after Gnome Brewing. So low-key organic, like Clayton Gerard was starting out was. Clayton Gerard, I remember him, the Canadian Barrage. Yeah, I mean, people just filter out kind of fast.
Is he a brewer? I'm not sure who that is.
He was the Canadian guy, you know, and I think Sterling B, man, much love. Just much love for being here, whether you voted for me or not. Don't vote for me. Vote down. Thumbs down.
Gagger,
Me.
someone broke into your house.
Wait, what?
I don't really like beer that much.
It's probably his wife.
Yeah, she stepped outside real quick.
What do we? My shirt has been
They
taken
said
off the
someone
whole
broke
time.
into the house. They saw you.
Nick
They'd
Keaton
be
knows what's
spying.
up. Hell yeah. If I made a channel. Yeah, I think the key to homebrewing on YouTube is like just come into it and do videos leisurely. Don't do it the way that I did it. Like, oh, I'm going to get 100 million thousand subscribers. It's never going to happen. I think if I would have taken like the more gnome approach, just like, hey, put out videos more sporadically, I'd still have a girlfriend. I'm just kidding. I'd still be living in San Diego. No, but we're just homebrewing is just it's the redheaded stepchild of the internet, and it's just never going to be there. That's fine. I've come to terms with that a long time ago. But I think some people come in and they think they're just going to blow it up, and it just doesn't happen after 5 or 10 videos, and then they're out. And I just think that's another one bites the dust. Come here! Or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he'll be back. We got Marco Moderno in here, though. What's up, Marco?
Poor child, seriously.
I brew on I release videos on a schedule just to help have something to hold me accountable, you know.
Right.
And it will. Making YouTube videos will definitely, it's not going to make you a shittier home brewer. You're like, hey, this is going out there. I don't care if there's 20 people, 200, 2,000, or 20,000 that see it. I want this to be good information. So you're going to push yourself to not cut corners and research things better beforehand. And
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about like 5 years ago for me. Like, I'm fucking the biggest poser in here by so goddamn far. But at a time, I used to think like that, and I'll get it back one of these days. Come here. I'm sorry you lost
your way there.
I didn't lose my girlfriend for beer. I'm just talking shit. I've never even had one for my beer. Stephen James. Stephen James. Do I know you from San Diego?
Not
Look,
Michael
I'm gonna be
James.
honest. I don't really like beer that much.
Michael James. Have you gotten trolled by Michael James yet, Jaggers? He's the guy that leaves you a whole back.
Yeah.
Is
Like,
that the mash guy? Like distillers mash at whatever?
He's the guy that when you click read more, there's like 5 more read mores. I mean, he just writes.
Really?
Wait, just writes an shit.
Yeah, this guy sucks. Yeah.
No, I guess I haven't. There was some kind of
you'll
bot
know.
that-
Yeah, I think he's
there
like
was some kind of mold.
No.
he's like an
He's
He's
in
in here
yeah.
right now,
Look, I'm gonna be
somewhere
honest. I
lurking.
don't really
Oh,
like
that's
beer
good,
that much.
man.
He's gonna
Someone
strike.
does like
I love him for being here, but
gives
I love him
subs.
for being here, but fucking shut the fuck up on YouTube comments, man. My lord.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my
I don't really
God.
like
There
beer
was
that
some
much.
kind of bot that was talking about like, well, distillers mash at whatever. I was like, well, this ain't about distilling, homie. So like, we're brewing a farmhouse up in here. Go on with that shit.
Northwest got targeted.
The
Oh,
he got
no.
trolled by him.
Yeah, I blocked him, he said.
Yeah, the Michael James thing, but he always goes off on some tangent about like biscuit malt back from the 1920s. You're just like,
Oh.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Brewing bads. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got trolled on my live stream.
Oh, one more,
I was
5
like-
more read mores. Sterling V, 1 more, 5 more read mores.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really
Raw
like
dog
beer that
double
much.
IPA.
Yeah.
Wait, Jaggers, how was your live brew day? That scares the
Dude,
hell out of
man,
me.
it was awesome. That the troll person, I was just kind of like my wife was like,
Your wife was
oh my
trolling you?
god, she said, I saw it in your face. You're like, I need an adult. How do I handle this? And she's like, you handled it wonderfully, you know. But I was just like, holy fucking crap! Like, what do I do, you know?
You just gotta kind of treat it actually kind of like a compliment, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I kind of rolled with it a little bit, you know, until I kind of like figured it out. Then I was just like, I guess this dude's in prison or something. Like, he's talking about like people reading his mail and the government's after him and he's not allowed to do homebrew or something. I was just like,
So that confirms that no matter what the topic, there are trolls that exist. That are
Oh,
just
for
lurking
sure.
and ready to fucking just talk about nothing.
Yeah, but I don't think people really get it as far as trolling goes, because every time you troll somebody or you leave a comment, whether it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that still provides the algorithm with some form of engagement. I mean,
you're
really,
helping it out.
you're helping it out. The best way and you're watching their video. You know, views are money on YouTube. Views are money on some social media platforms. Some platforms they're not. But the best way to really troll somebody is to unsubscribe from their channel and never talk about it. Because if you're like, oh my God, I hate this channel to all your friends and this and that, they might go check that channel out. you know? So I don't think people really understand trolling. Like if people, and not only that, but people troll each other in comments that the creator has got nothing to do with. So it's like this guy wrote back to me, and you'll see like somebody will write something and then it'll go on for 50 or 60 more comments. Those are views, like adding up. These are more and more, and people come back to that fight to see like who is winning the debate on this. and that.
Who won?
Who won the debate? You know, because
And this shitty pissing contest that normally happens.
And it's like that even on Instagram now. Like somebody can comment on anybody of your Instagram posts, and it could have like 10 or 50 or thumbs ups or thumbs downs. I think they got rid of the thumbs down, but like people can rally on your platform. And at the end of the day, like as a content creator, that's what you want. Like if this guy's saying the nastiest shit ever about you and you're not funny and this channel sucks and you look like a Down syndrome version of Nicolas Cage, they're not really trolling you. They're kind of, throwing you a curveball of support. The best way to troll somebody is just never watch their stuff or ever talk about it. That's the best troll of all time. The best troll of all time is just ignoring it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi, James.
Yeah, he's in here.
Hashtag don't drink yellow snow.
Shout out to Frank Zappa. All right, I got to drain the main vein. BRB.
I'm going to distill some yellow snow.
Already.
Do you have snow there yet? No?
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
it snowed yesterday or last night. It snowed like 3 days or 2 days before that.
I just turned on my heater today.
Probably tomorrow. It sucks, man. We're in the thick of it already.
Fucking hell.
It's just beginning, too. Like, it's going to be a long-ass winter.
Today's the first day turned on my heater.
Really? Oh, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, because it's 47 outside, so I'm like, all right, let me put the heater on.
I'm literally sitting on I'm not sitting. I'm like leaning right up against a space heater right now.
Space heater.
It's like 37 degrees in this room.
God damn.
Brutal.
It's like 56. I considered firing up the fire pit for my wife for a little bit.
Yeah.
If it's in the 50s, I'm lighting the fire pit. Doesn't matter. If it's in the 60s, I'm like, it's a little too warm. But once it hits the 50s, I'm like, cold enough. Let's throw it on.
Shit, we had my birthday party last weekend, and like we were all out there drinking, and like we'd had a little bit, and so it was like 75. I was just like, fuck it, let's light the fire. Let's see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I was just thinking about
it's December,
I just bumped in. Yeah, I was just thinking about the troll comment I left earlier. I think it's different from platform to platform because on YouTube, I don't care at all. But on Instagram, I don't want like my friends and family seeing that. Like if you guys post anything on Instagram and someone writes like, fuck you, you ugly, fat, gigantic piece of shit. Like your friends and family and your mom might see that. Like on YouTube, no one's ever going to see that except for internet creatures. You know what I mean? Like I don't want my mom being like, oh, like who was that person that called you a no talented shitty brewer with a fucking shitty mustache and gray hairs in your face, you fucking ogre. I was like, that was you, Mom. Thought we talked about this. I'm just kidding. Mama? No, I don't think my mom has any idea I even make YouTube videos.
Yellow
I mean, she
does.
does. But
Nick Keene, apparently it's 4 degrees where he's at. Where the fuck do you live, bro?
Yeah.
Canadian?
Holy shit, dude.
Canadian?
You're in Antarctica right now?
Or is that 4 degrees? Oh, that's...
Could be.
It's
Well,
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit
It's
or
Fahrenheit.
Celsius?
It has F, so it's.
Oh, yeah,
freezing.
he says F,
Did
yeah.
the sun come out there?
shit, dude.
We've been on here for an hour and a half,
Alaska,
man.
shit.
You guys want to do another beer?
I want to do
I'm
5
down,
more.
I'm in.
What?
Okay.
What?
It's only 9:33 my time. I'm good.
Still have more of my second beer. I've been taking it easy tonight. I want to be, somewhat understandable.
Congratulations, Marty.
I had a couple beers before the stream.
Yeah, me too.
I did not do that. I stuck to the rules.
They were
today.
Bud Lights though.
Bud Lights.
I was working on my car. That's why.
I only had one, my advent calendar beer.
Is that the same one that Apartment Steve has? The Advent calendar beer thing?
No, so me and a bunch of guys, we got together. We made our own advent calendar
Oh, nice.
beer.
Ah,
Like-
Homebrew. Sweet.
Well, no, it wasn't all homebrew. They said, "Oh, do homebrew." I was like, "Guys, y'all are killing me. Y'all have already
That's a
cleaned
lot
me
of
up."
homebrew.
It is. It's a shit ton, and
What,
so
Not if
25
you-
different
if there's
homebrews?
four
Like, that's
people,
a lot.
1 week each, 7 beers.
How many
what?
subscribers is Jaggers up to? Did we break 300?
Let's check.
I think, yeah, we did.
Hey guys,
We broke it.
314.
Hey now, take off your shirt and show everybody your penis. Big shout out to Jaggers for getting 300, man. And big shout out to Party Time James. He was hanging out with us last week, and I forgot to bring him up in the intro to this, man. What's up, James? Hope you're all well out there in Nova Scotia,
in the chat,
Canada.
too.
Wow.
It's probably
Peter
like
Genus?
-4 where he's at.
Genus Peter.
I bet you Party Time James wins the championship for coldest current weather right now.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Wouldn't doubt
I don't
it,
really
yeah.
like beer that much.
Yeah.
Not only is
Canada-
he north, he's east as well. That
Canada's
would
a
be, like, brutal.
whole other
Well, I
level
don't
of
know if I know.
cold. Canada's a whole other level of cold.
Yeah,
no.
it
soft
is.
going.
No, I don't.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
I'm
I
getting
don't
called
really
out.
like beer that
I'm
much.
getting called out for being
Who's talking
soft, and I'm
shit, man? Who's
not
talking
sure how.
shit? Let's beat some ass. Let's beat some goddamn ass. Gnome's going
But
soft.
when you have no body fat, it's kind of brutal.
Gnome has never eaten sushi or fish in his entire life. He weighs 120 pounds. Let the sweet boy be.
Oh, that reminds me, I had a chimichanga for the first time today.
You gotta work on saying it.
Chimichanga.
Chimichanga.
Oh, I mean, a chimichanga.
Sounds like something out of
I'm
South
not even
Park.
kidding. That's legit, dude.
Shitty walk,
Chimichanga.
shitty walk
Oh, is
chicken?
that? Oh, shit.
Shitty walk chicken or shitty walk beef?
Back off,
Hey,
poor child.
regardless, it was delicious.
Nova Scotia.
Good.
Nova Scotia is colder
Yeah.
than, or maybe Chris Vodka's heart is colder than Nova Scotia.
Be right back.
That's funny stuff, though.
Oh,
Alias, you don't have any like homebrew on tap?
I do. I have my saison on tap.
Oh, okay.
I've just been like,
You could have
I've had these
some-
IPAs in my fridge for so long, and I've just been wanting to drink them. So that's kind of why I'm drinking those.
You know, Birakwoi, I'm a pretty shitty fisherman, but I enjoy doing it no matter what. I can't catch fish to save my life, but
I don't have the patience to be a fisherman, man, but I love the, like, I think it's the gnarliest thing in the history of pretty much mankind, right? As far as survival goes.
yeah.
But before they started killing bears and deers and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that it was fishing and freezing weather.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it was a necessity. I just do it to hang out with my dad. Like, seriously.
There's a
I don't
lot of
care if I catch
downtime.
shit.
Yeah, time to talk, time to drink beer, time to,
Yeah.
I don't know, learn how to tie one of those goddamn fishing knots that I've never been able to figure out. But no, I have a lot of friends into fishing. I just never got it. And they do all those boat trips where sometimes they'll stay out in a boat and like off the shore of Mexico, like 60 miles out. I'll come back with a ton of fish. It just looks fun. I just, I don't know. Oh, Genus Bruins in the house. It's time to get out of here, man. Wow. I'm just kidding. What's up, Peter? Talking about it. Peter's coming out here in mid-January. Try to get him on the stream before that
I don't
happens.
really like beer that much.
Peter, cheers, man. We're talking about going from raw dog boils, which is no boil, to 4-hour boils in your last video, Barrage. Come here. That's a good thing about brewing. There's really just however you get it done. Bart
Well,
Diamond,
how do
man.
you-
I met Bart Diamond out in Nashville. Bart, I hope you're doing well, man. Me and Just Brewing. 28 degrees in Maryland.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
It's got to be close to Nome,
Hey,
right?
at least somebody's getting creepy on the beard. It feels
There
good.
you go, Gnome.
Here we go.
Dude, what-
Is that a
this
sipper?
This
or an
is a
NBC or-
month. This is 1 month of
Life-
growth.
Life
And it
needs
is, like,
more
Super
farmhouses.
thick.
Would you?
Yeah, I had to go to Discord to see it, but that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I have one I can bring up after this beer.
we talking about Jagger's beer or Aliaz's beard?
Yes, both. Why not?
Okay.
Genus Brewing likes both raw dog and 4-hour.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
Sounds like
I
Genus
like
Brewing's
where
been.
Chris Vodka's going.
sounds like Genus-
66.6 minute boils.
Seems like Genus
You know, you
Brewing
have, how else can you
has the
summon
key to my
Satan?
diary.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
And Rancho Cucamonga.
You said-
Where is
You
that?
said that's a month worth of growth there for you, Ollie?
Yeah, this is about 3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks.
That's a good point, Sterling B. Anybody active on Untapped I can follow. Is Untapped dead? Does anybody here still use that?
I stopped Untapped.
I never have.
Well, they do.
Done it.
I used to post all the time.
Because you would connect with people, or you'd get feedback or discounts on stuff.
No, I just wanted to. I used it like the Pokédex, right?
Yeah. I've talked about that, and that's the way I vouch for it.
So I used it as a Pokédex, and then I have a really good buddy from high school, and we would go through each other's and be like, I'd see, like, I'd be at the beer store to be like, oh, let me see what he says about this, because I haven't had this. And if he said like, oh no, this was garbage, I'll be like, all right, cool, I can pass on it, kind of thing, you know? Because me and him have very similar taste in beer. So I was like, all right, I sometimes used it to just find new beers, and then also like keep track, because like I always would forget, like, oh, have I had this beer or have I not? And if I did, I was like, all right, cool, let me move on to another beer, kind of thing, you know?
No, and I'm with you 100%. And I think that was kind of the problem with Untapped, is it had way too much of that Yelp vibe, right? Like, there's been breweries,
Right.
There's been breweries that I've looked up and people have talked about here. We're all pulled up on Untapped, and it's like 3.7 out of 5, which is a very bad score, I think.
Oh,
I mean, that can't be a
horrible,
good
yeah.
score. But you read the reviews, and it was like, oh, their food truck didn't offer a vegan option.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Or their
shit.
dog.
You
They
wanna
told me to
know
put
who
my
had the
dog on a
best-
leash, and you're like, well, what the hell does that have to do with the beer? Right,
Beer,
great place,
right?
perfect beer, great prices, but the customer service wasn't top notch. What the fuck does that have to do with the beer you were drinking? And that's where the whole like entitlement of kind of our generation comes into play, where it's like you just took the credibility away from that. But if you only based it on the beer, I think it'd be a more accurate source. It'd be more, reliable information. But some people, the people that go out, I think that are like, hey, we got to put this on Untapped or put this on Yelp. There's a lot of people you just can't win with. And those are the people that are judging your
Right.
product or your service. And those are not the people that are using it for a Pokedex. They have like profile pictures and their avatar and their
Yeah, no, that's fucking
Google
stupid.
Plus or Review Plus or Yelp Elite or bullshit. And that's what takes away from the credibility of the app. But I was never an Untapped guy either. Neither. The same.
So I used to be,
Yeah.
and it was nice, and I kind of I just kept forgetting to like log my beers, and then I just stopped all of a sudden.
Same story. Yeah, I just gradually, without knowing it, lost interest. I stopped caring about cataloging each beer. I did the same thing you did, just to kind of keep a note of what I did.
Right.
Then eventually, I was just like, fuck this whole thing. And to begin with, I stopped logging in. I stopped using it. Like,
But
occasionally, like if it's a brewery I've never encountered before, and I see it at a liquor store, I'll kind of like get a sense whether they put out good stuff or not. And if it's like kind of obvious that they don't, I won't, take a chance, because with how expensive like a decent 4-pack of IPA is now, like, I don't know. I kind of want to do a little bit of research before I pull the trigger.
Is Untapped like Yelp, where if you're a brewery now, that if people are posting your beers, they call you a million times a day and they're like, you want to buy ad space? You want to buy ad space? You want to get your brewery on untapped.com?
I have no idea. Genius was saying though that apparently you can kind of how did he word it? You can kind of like influence them to how do you put Untapped and Yelp can be paid off. That's immediate no for reviews.
Yeah.
But what is ultimately the point of, like, explain to me the difference outside of the Pokedex world, which I do appreciate. You're treating it like a diary. What is the difference between Yelp and Untapped? Nothing?
Besides besides being able to keep track of.
That's what I'm
kind of
saying.
like-
Outside of that, like, are you just,
No, it's about the same, right?
Yelp is Untapped?
Yeah.
And that's
I
kind of a
couldn't
weird
tell you.
thing too.
But
Because
you know what's really like, have you ever gone to Untapped and read the reviews for like Bud Light or Coors Light and stuff like that?
I'm sure it's like the same as Chart House and McDonald's, right? Like there's
No,
one guy.
it's the funniest shit ever.
Oh, really?
It is literally the funniest shit ever.
Now I'm
You
downloading
go
the
through
app.
some of them, and some of the reviews are like, "This beer makes me want to sleep with my cousin" or some shit. Like the funniest fucking shit ever. Like
That's every
people
beer.
put
Natty Light or
troll
some shit.
reviews on those beers.
That's every time I go over to Party Time
I would
James's
go.
house.
I just scroll through them and just like laughing my ass off.
I will
Yeah.
say this about Untapped. You could like literally just legitimately you go to a brewery or even like a brewery that does make like it's known to have like a delicious lager or pilsner or whatever. It'd be the best pilsner you ever tasted in your life, and then you look up Untapped and it's like 3.67. It's like what?
Yeah.
And then you have like a mediocre hazy and it's like 4.11.
Well, and that was the
a
video.
lot of it is like the hype styles just inherently get a higher rating with like how does it like without even like putting in the work. Like they haven't really like developed the beer and like kind of like tweaked it to make it amazing, and it's getting like just your automatic like your kind of default like hazy rating. And there's some delicious beers that just don't fit into the right style that get lost. And I don't know. That's what I've noticed personally about Untapped.
Untapped is like the male version of the Karen. Like all these home brewers that are like supposed to be these blue collar guys and not supposed to bitch on
Yeah.
the internet all day. Like this is like our little small
These
like
beer
piece of
snobs,
the.
yeah.
We're exactly the exact opposite of what we're talking shit about, or we're exactly the same as we're talking shit about. But no, and brewery.
Sometimes we're the problem all along.
Sometimes, it's just projection. The shit I'm talking is me right in the mirror. But I was pulling up a brewery that I put in today's video, and the two breweries that I put in that video, I don't know anybody at Swami's or Pizza Port. That was 100% organic. But the Booze Brothers and the Battle Mage guys, those are my boys. That was definitely political and biased, but I fucking don't care, and their beer's great. But it was not organic. But their beer, the Watermelon Tahini Goza, I think it's like the best. I wouldn't call it sour. I think sour and tart are different words nowadays. I think people
Like a tart beer.
Yeah.
it's a tart beer. I'd put it on like a 3.5, 3.6 pH.
Oh, and you like when I watched that video and I heard that, I was like, "Fuck, that sounds so good."
Oh, it's the best. And I know that they do it. I see them and they juice all the watermelon. There's no, I've got no beef with puree or flash frozen fruit. The extract thing kind of scares me. The shit that they put in hard seltzers, and then they're now trying to put it in craft beer. That's the ultimate like corner you can cut. But I know how Booze Farms does it, or it's not Booze Brothers, it's Owl Farms. It's their sister company. And I know how they do it. And as far as my Untapped goes, and I've said this a million times, if the beer tastes how it's described, it's delicious. I love watermelon. I love tahini. I love Mexican candy. I always loved tahini. I love sour beer. It is literally the best beer. It's the best beer that tastes the way it's described. And I looked at it on Untapped, and people were shitting all over it. And I was like, it's called Watermelon Tahini Goza, and it tastes exactly like a watermelon Tahini Goza. If you have a problem with that, you just don't like the way that watermelon Tahini Goza tastes. But here's the thing. You saw that on the menu. You looked at the can and knew what you were getting into. If you were going to base that palate on that description, it's A fucking plus.
It'd be even worse if they're like, not as expected.
It's literally, and talk to if Jonathan Elliott's still in here, he has been there, or Eric Lane, we've been there, and whether you get it in a 6-pack to go or you're drinking it straight from the source, it's the same beer. Because I've had a lot of beers. We've had a lot. You guys
Which
been.
brewery is this?
It's Booze Brothers' sister company called Owl Farm.
Owl Farm,
And all they do is
I think it's
specialize
similar to beers,
in like, they call it unique fermentations. It's tart beers, Goza beers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's all I have to say about that.
So with sour beers, what do you prefer, CH? Do you prefer like kettle sours over like mixed fermentation, or is there a certain style that you prefer?
It depends how much I'm drinking. That's a damn good question, Jaggers. Like Noam and I went to, if anybody, I'm making a video right now. I'm making a video on my top 5 beer cities. And I don't really know where I'm going to put any city. But if you do, Jaggers, if you ever come to Knoxville, check out the Oak Room. Me and Noam went there. I think, Noam, what'd you have? You had a cinnamon vanilla, or you had a black currant?
I think it was yours. I had the more towards blackberry, darker sour.
Right.
But they were both phenomenal.
These weren't tart.
Maybe
These weren't kettle sours. These are all barrel aged sours. This is a brewery's offshoot. I think the main brewery is called Abridged. and we went to the Oak Room at a bridge. This was the night before when Alias had his bullshit flight delay thing from Allegiant, so we didn't catch him. But this place, they're not making that much money because sour beers are niche. I love them to death, but they're just not.
Right.
They're not hazies. They're not pilsners. They're not West Coast. And me and Noam, we each had one, and we pulled the guy over, and we're like, dude, like, what is the pH on this? And the guy's like, I can't even drink it. This shit goes down to like 3.1% pH, and I don't even know if I've even had a
3
sour.
point what?
3.1.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like drinking a battery, like licking a battery and then like biting the part off and then swallowing it. Like it was no
Eating
joke.
battery acid.
Eating battery acid. And me and Noam, we both liked it. It both tasted exactly like it, but it was so sour, you just couldn't spend money there unless you started drinking wine or a cocktail. But these are barrel-aged sours. These are not quick
every single
sours.
beer, barrel sour. It's absolutely amazing. Like literally a tower of like oak all around you, like in like rows.
Yeah. What's it called?
Ceiling.
What's it called? The fermenters, the wooden fermenters?
The Wooders.
The fooders.
Yeah, so they had a couple of those. And it's in like this kind of shitty street. I mean, Knoxville's kind of like Gotham City. Like it's kind of shitty, broken down sidewalks and broken potholes and all this shit. And then you walk into a place, you're like, whoa, okay. I understand why there's like this company having this private party over here and they're not going to let fucking me and Noam in, you know, we'll go over here. And,
like, yeah, you go in the corner. No, like,
yeah, and that place shreds. And, you know, I love that style of beer. And I don't know if I could ever be involved in beer really that much. Like to own, you know, like, hey, I want to brew only this style or start a business with only this style. But I definitely appreciate it.
yeah, I was impressed for sure. Like, I would love to go back to a place you know, if a place like that existed around here, I'd be there often.
I've never been to a place like that aside
Next time
from.
you guys come to Austin, we'll definitely go to Jester King for sure.
We talked about that as soon as
on my
we
hit list.
as soon as we
to, like-
left Austin and got back to Knoxville, I felt like that was the only thing we talked about. Was like, we got to go to Jester King. We got to go to Jester King.
Yeah.
Or
there's just so much to do when you guys were here. It just wasn't an option.
no, and we
Being-
did it
By the
right.
way.
No, we did it perfect in Austin.
I agree.
yeah, we did it good.
Being a fellow
don't really
Texan,
like beer that
Ollie, have you done anything with their yeast?
I have not gotten their yeast, so no.
Oh, if you drink their beer, you get their yeast.
So yeah, if you
Oh,
want to try
because
that
the bottom of the
biology,
bottle has their
offers your
yeast.
culture.
Yeah,
Make a starter out of that.
that was my health saison video.
Oh, okay.
Did you
All
buy
right.
a
I need
healthy
to
pitch?
go through and watch your videos, but yes.
I asked them. I said, "Hey, can I mention y'all by name?" They never got back to me, so it's just like it's a farmhouse ale in Texas that's made locally.
Did you like build up dregs? Did you ask them for the yeast, or did you get it from like bootleg?
Straight out of the bottle. I didn't ask for
right,
permission. I figured it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission, and a lot of the yeast that I steal
Agreed.
from bottles.
But you can buy their culture just through, like I said,
Yes.
it's from a company out of Nashville.
Yeah, bootleg. So
yeah, their stuff is
they
phenomenal, by the way.
they didn't offer it at the point in time, at least easily accessible when I did it. So I just was like, let's just see what happens. And I did a test run, turned out great. So then I went all in hardcore, and dude, that beer, yeah. Like if you're a farmhouse saison dude that loves sours,
Yeah,
that's the ticket.
I'll definitely have to try it. I did try the
Sounds like Philly
Invasive
sour
Funk,
yeast.
which I told you about that. Like
No,
the Yazoo.
It's I'm sorry, Noam,
That's all
but just real quick, like
Oh, this
so.
is an interrupt fest. We're all good, especially with me and him.
So so Sasha and beer. So no, but it's way more complicated than Philly sour. Like just hands down. Like God knows what is in that culture. And the beer that I brewed was so different than the what was in the bottles. And I split batched that, and I did a I took some pear juice and some vanilla beans and some home roasted pecans, and I threw that into secondary. And I mean, like, even that was a totally different beer than the base beer that I brewed. Like, it was nuts. And I'm brewing that beer again soon. Like, I've got to have like 2 cases of that on stock. I feel like that
So,
was
the beautiful thing about them is like, I mean, I don't want to say 100% of their yeast or their cultures are on site, but I think it's the majority. Like a lot of their yeast is just wrangled like on site, like on their
it's
massive property.
from
Like
my
they have some
understanding.
that's like yeasted from like or harvested from like the east side of their property, and then there's some
Right.
that's like off of like like a prairie, like in a clearing. Like it's just that's the stuff I live for. Like that stuff like just
Right.
excites the hell out of me.
Well, so like I live on a homestead, and so like I hear to a lot of that kind of stuff, and so that speaks a lot to me.
Yeah.
But like so like their base yeast is like French saison and like a Belgian, and then they went and gathered a bunch of fruits and then added in all that kind of stuff.
Just
And
the
so
natural shit that was like on the skins and stuff.
right,
3711 too, or like, well, whatever you want to call the French, like depending on the brand. Like that's a great base, I would say. Like it's, there's not an awful lot of character that's going to come off it, but it's going to like ferment well, and whatever you add to it is going to kind of be your like character notes, like your kind of like nuance, your side,
yeah.
your interesting
We talked about that in a project that I'm doing.
I'm gonna use the restroom. When I come back, I got a question for both you guys. I'll be back.
All right.
like
So
clawhammer log beer gnome. I don't know what you mean by that, but I do remember that video. That was an awesome video. I would
So
love
what's
to
your
do something like that.
what's your farmhouse? This is the Lithuanian here.
I have the Embrace the Funk from Bootleg Biology. It's
Okay.
the Yazoo Brewing Company. They're out of Nashville. Really good. Like, well, they were small when I went there. I went there like when I first started brewing. Literally, I did my first batch of beer, and then, or actually, my second batch of beer, and then I like took a plane to Music City Beer Fest. And I went to Yazoo, and I was really blown away about how like good their traditional sours were. So like when I started getting more experience in brewing, like I always had it in the back of my mind, like when I'm ready, I'll use their culture. And then like it wasn't the first I used, but it was one of the best I've used. Like I basically approached it like it was a saison, even though it had lacto in it.
Right.
Like kind of moderately hopped, like somewhere in like the mid 20s IBUs. But the lactose still kind of like I think Alias, I think we talked about this, how like still it has like a mild tartness. Like it's not like over the top. It's not like it's not a balancer. It's just like kind of like an extra element. Like it's basically a saison with a slight bit of tartness. Like I don't know if you ever
What
had
beer
any of
is
the Hill
this?
Farmstead. The one I brewed with Embrace the Funk Culture.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We
But,
got 69 people watching, dude. 69, dude.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
Nice.
Sorry, but I got a question when you're done, Nomski.
I'm
I
done.
got
No, you're not.
my
You're not going anywhere.
strawberry lemon
All good.
saison right
Gnome's
here.
not even done.
Talk
No,
about nothing at length.
no. I don't mean to cut you off like that. I just I wanted to bring up something about 2 points that I
This
thought
is
about.
Gnome's favorite beer that I've made.
Do you still have some of the beer on when we were there? There's no way, right? There's no
What?
way.
Who
The
are you
stains
asking?
on that blanket behind me, jizz, blood, piss, all the above.
Definitely a different stage.
Shadows.
Little column A, little column B.
No, when we were in Austin, there's no way you still have some of those beers on draft, right? You went to
No, those are all gone.
Yeah, yeah. You
But
went
I
to.
redid the strawberry lemon saison that I had on tap.
Was that the one I was mixing up?
I don't really like beer that
Yes,
much.
that and my West Coast you were mixing together.
Love mixing beers. I got a question for, I guess, all you guys, particularly the Reddit people in here. So, because I did see Treehouse Gnome, like I posted, "What's your favorite beer?" in my last YouTube video, and I think I got a lot of reliable sources in there. Is that's got to be reliable? People are talking about like if I'm seeing Treehouse and Julius and shit like that. I mean, Treehouse has got to be like the most prestigious beer on the East Coast. Is Yelp?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Is
I would say they are the most
Treehouse
prestigious.
I've never heard somebody talk shit about Treehouse. I've never heard someone talk shit about Treehouse.
The only negative thing I've heard was, well,
It's overpriced.
I don't really like beer that
Price,
much.
yeah, but also
Yeah.
you have your stereotypical person. It's not the same as when they were brewing it out of a barn
10
and you
years
talk to
ago.
their
Yeah.
grandma.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
That whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
not fuck that
You know
guy.
what?
I'd be saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get that. I get that conversation. But do you think like Reddit is, because you're talking about the sub thing of Reddit, if you really go into there, like you can really find good beers on there? Because I feel like YouTube comment sections are better than the video sometimes. No one's going to be like, I mean, there's going to guys being there like, dude, Mickey's is the best beer. Like you have to be prepared.
Kind of
for
reminds
that.
me of like when you would say
These nuts.
It reminds me of like, I remember in your YouTube videos you would say you can learn a lot from like you might learn more from the YouTube comments than you learn from my video.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Some guys.
I agree with that because there's going to be a lot of people who have more experience, or even people who don't have experience who think they might know a lot. But I think you're going to get a lot of good answers in the comment section, especially from people, because like people who take the time and effort to write a comment usually know what they're talking about, right? I feel like you have to go out of your way to write a YouTube comment.
You're right. And I
don't
feel
know
like
about
no one's
that.
going to shit on your YouTube comment being like, no, that beer fucking sucks. But I feel like on Reddit, they would more so do that. Like if somebody
It's
writes,
way easier because it's literally a chat thing, right?
Right.
but I feel like if somebody wrote, hey, like Busch Light's the best beer of all time on someone's YouTube video, there's not going to be an uproar on a YouTube comment.
You're not going to see like
forum,
50 comments
but
behind
you might
it saying,
see
"Oh, you're a
that.
fucking idiot" or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
There's going to be a couple people who'll be like, "Okay, whatever," and some dudes are going to be like, "You know what? I love Bush," you know. So it's just like,
See, but I hang around with that crowd primarily. They all like love Coors, and so like
Yeah.
when I bring a brew up, I'm like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And like the number one comment was like, well, it's not Coors. And you're like, well, I don't have Rocky Mountain like water. First off, all right, like
cold as the
I
Rockies.
do like your friends because I like Coors.
right.
I like a shitty
Coors
Coors Light
is a,
from time to time.
Coors is
That's the Northeasterners.
It's a good beer.
The
It's a
Northeasterners
good beer for
love
when it
them, the
is.
Coors.
But I also think you can't
Lattes.
you can't really talk shit about beer unless it's like consistently making you throw up all the time. Like people that are like fuck Budweiser or fuck this, it's like we go to Europe and buy the same shitty fucking thing over there, and just because it's different or it's called like Beck's or Lowenbrow and it's in a different green bottle with a Game of Thrones horse on it, it's like it's the same shitty distributed beer that's sitting out in the sun and distribution and this and that. Like you can't really talk shit about beer unless it's like really making you sick to your stomach. That's how I think. That's how I think.
Right.
I mean, you can talk shit about every beer. Maybe I didn't look at it that way.
I've gotten to the point. I don't know if you guys have it locally where you're at, but Ollie can probably know. But Shiner, like that's probably like the highest level anymore that I brew or that I go by personally. Other than that, it's all just
fair.
like low level like.
Mass-produced beer kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I try to support all the like local breweries near me.
Yeah,
as far
Shiner
as that
Bock.
goes.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, Shiner Bock's probably like the highest that I go up that.
What do you mean
that tree,
highest?
So Shiner Bock is like an independent brewery, but
From
they're
Texas.
not, like-
Yeah.
but they're not like the local guy brewing in your back, in your city or anything like that.
So they're not like your treehouse or anything like that.
Fuck Lone Star. If I want to drink horse piss, I will go drink horse piss.
What if you're hungover at a shitty Mexican restaurant?
I would
'Cause
rather
I've
drink
been
nothing over Lone Star. No, Lone Star is terrible. It's awful.
I think it was Alias. He's like, when I saw
Raw dog,
What?
red dog
a fucking
IPA.
Lone Star,
I wouldn't
just-
even cook with Lone
that.
Star. That's terrible beer. Shiner
When I
Bock
saw
is
Gnome
the beer
drink
of
Lone
Texas.
Star, I was like, he gets it. He gets the being the drunk ass Texan.
Hungover, I need a
loved
fucking
it.
just a shit beer. Just give it to
If he wants a shit beer, he gets his fucking shit beer. I'm okay with that.
Schlitz Creek beer.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I
Schlitz
don't
beer.
really like
Schlitz.
Man, I haven't
Oh my
had them
God.
in ages.
Jaggers,
Yeah.
this is my.
Here's a
mixed
YouTube
drink right
video,
here.
man. All the people that swear by
Wow.
Budweiser and Lone Star and Michelob, like I want to do a real blind taste contest because everyone thinks they can swear by it, but blind taste contests are it's humbling. It's way more humbling.
So I can taste the difference
I don't
between
really
like
like beer that
Coors and Bud Light.
But it's also different when it
I think-
like
I
different
think
temperatures, or it
that's-
comes from a can, or if it comes from a bottle.
Yeah.
Like I taste
Well,
aluminum.
no, they're both like they
It's
were
gotta-
both cans, and I had them. I was like, oh, Bud Light definitely tastes sweeter than Coors did.
Yeah.
Coors Light, like I was just like, this is interesting. I did like I never really paid attention.
Beer
And
Quaz
then
Nation.
Keystone Light has its own significant
I don't really
flavor.
like beer that much.
Like it's really funky almost.
So I
Yeah.
brewed this. I just tried to look up because I wasn't sure. I brewed this on June 3rd, so this is a little bit old, but it is.
Nobody gives a fuck. We're talking about light beers here. I'm just
fuck your curs, you bastard. I'm trying to talk about my fucking mixed firm.
I got the shout out.
Mixed firm for life.
I got the shout out from Booze
Dude,
Brothers. They're not
super,
pissed.
Like, my bad. Anyways, massive pineapple. God damn it. I'll shut up. My apologies.
Chug,
Dumb.
chug, chug. Every time I look at Gnome over there, I've been playing Breath of the Wild so goddamn much. I'm going crazy. He looks like Dark Link. You guys know what Dark Link looks like when he goes to like silver and black, but all he's missing is the red eyes. Anyone play Breath of the Wild in here? Am I on my own?
Nah.
Again?
no.
I'll take this L. I've been here before. Wow. And that's a compliment. I wasn't ripping on you at all. I would never rip on you. But,
Oh, God.
Good Jaggers.
Please do.
Are you
I don't
born
care.
and raised Texas?
No, so well, yes and no. So I've been here since '89.
Okay.
I was born in Louisville, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
We moved here '89, and I've been here, so I'm a Texan. Like, I don't
Yeah,
care.
definitely. When were you born?
'82. So I
Yeah,
just did the
no,
big
you can't.
4-0.
Like you've lived more of your life in Texas than anywhere
Yeah.
else.
Oh yeah. So, Texas till the day I die.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yep.
So have you lived in like in the Galveston area most of your life, or
Houston, Galveston. I've just floated around all over.
just float around between the two?
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah.
Yep.
Did you get like so with the hurricanes? Did they ever affect you or anything?
Yeah. Hurricane Ike totally fucked everything up. Took
Ooh,
pretty
that was
much
a bad
everything
one.
that I own. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It sucked bad, but bounced back. You know.
always bounce
Yeah.
back. Always bounce back. We still
Yeah.
got Genus here. Genus didn't want to come on last week.
Look,
Oh,
I'm gonna
he
be
was
honest.
playing
I don't really like beer that
Pokemon
much.
Scarlet.
Jaggers is froze. Fuck this Pokemon game. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do now that I beat Zelda? I'm gonna fuck up even harder and buy Super Mario Odyssey. I heard that's
Wait,
just as
you
good.
haven't played that one yet?
No, I haven't played that one yet. Everyone said that, like the two.
That's been out for a long time too.
Same with Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild was very inspiring. Like I do get inspired from pop culture, music, video games, especially Game of Thrones. Breath of the Wild was very inspiring. I don't get too inspired by musicians, or comedians, but I get it. It's a thing I can never do, never have. Get up on stage, play a guitar, no fucking way, unless I'm like blacked out back in the college days. But I get all my exactly no, but I get all my inspiration pretty much from video games and like Game of Thrones nowadays. And hopefully, if I buy Mario Odyssey, I can get that same vibe. The bummer about that though is it keeps you from getting drunk, and it's fun as hell. But it also like doesn't make me want to go to the gym or edit anymore now. It's like, hey, like just edit for 5 hours and we'll play video games for an hour. It's very difficult for me to have one drink and shut it off. And it's very difficult for me to only play video games for 1 hour and shut it off. But when I do those things, I'm very proud of myself. I can only do those like a couple times a month. Like, I'm really just gonna have like
Yeah,
one.
it actually does make you feel good because like your discipline.
It's a test.
about you. I've definitely noticed you do have discipline for sure. But yeah, it's
I have to. I'd be
like
dead.
a little bit of a reward. Like you can get away with enjoying yourself for a little bit, but also you hold yourself in check. And then maybe, a few days later, you're able to enjoy yourself again without feeling guilty. You know what I mean? Because of that,
100%, man.
The previous experience.
No, I agree with you. And I have to have that, for as much as I drink. Peter, he owns a brewery. He's got kids and this and that. Me and Peter, genius, he comes on, he talks about his vices. You have to have that. Now, the key to that is don't, drink 6 fucking Jaeger bombs or whiskey things because then it's on. But if you just have slowly sip beers and this and that, there was a time where I could drink like 3 or 4 beers. And in my late 20s, I would go to the gym. I would go, like hit either the weight room or the cardio or sometimes jump in the pool. But if I have like 6 Long Island iced teas, like there's no way that's happening. We're just going to, go up to every stranger and talk to them like an inch from their face and smoke a pack of cigarettes. But nah, man, you gotta have that. You gotta draw a line somewhere. And whether it's eating a burrito a day or having a couple beers or just playing like 1 to 2 hours of video games, you gotta just put a timer on things. Time. And I don't do it all the time, but the older I get, the better I am at getting that, I think. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Somebody say something. Alias, what's going on with you, man?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like beer that much.
I made my race car pretty and then crashed it.
Oh no!
What?
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah,
No.
I already crashed it.
On the drift sheet? On the
on the drift track.
Drift track?
How bad?
No, it's not too bad. I fucked up the front bumper, the rear bumper, and a side skirt, but
does insurance cover that? I could see how it could be
No,
exempt.
I pretty much write off my car every single time I take it on track.
What do you mean you write it
I
off?
legitimately felt that when you said that. I was like, what? That sucks, dude.
Like pretty much like whatever damage it causes on track, like it's my fault, no matter what.
No one would insure you for that ride unless it was big money.
Yeah, no,
Right.
and like I'll talk to you about some of it like after the stream because like there was things like I told the track like they fucked up on. Like I know I fucked up, but it's just like there's things that the track could have done to prevent some of this damage.
Fucked.
And so, but luckily I have spare bumpers. I just need to get them painted, and the car will be looking pretty again.
So I have a legitimate question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce the thing I tried for the first time earlier today?
Chimichanga.
Chimichanga. What did I say? Chimichanga?
Chimichanga.
You said lobster burrito. I'm super
Also
racist.
known,
Chimichanga,
it's
okay.
quesadillas and it's
my god.
fajitas.
Napoleon, get over here and make me a
Vegetas.
quesadilla.
My defense is
really
that
like
I'm
beer
from the
that much.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Oh, my
chorizo.
Chimichanga. Okay.
So, but no, you wouldn't insure that car as is because you don't drive that on the road, right?
Me?
Yeah, you're Ford.
I do street drive it. I street drive it to each and every event.
So you're
Like
paying.
I'll street drive it to Houston. I'll take it to the golf course. I'll take it to work. Like it's a street legal car.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying that I didn't understand the realities of the insurance. Like anything that's on there is all exempt when you get on that. You sign a waiver saying you're whatever.
Off-road use only.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
AAA
So
or
I
farm.
have liability insurance on it, right? So I don't have like if I were to cause anything, like I can
Look,
my
I'm gonna be
insurance can
honest. I don't
cover
really
it
like
or
beer that
whatever.
much.
But if someone were to crash into me and stuff like that, like
Your insurance.
I have
pays
the
for it.
bare minimum insurance
Right.
on it where I don't get in trouble when I have it on the street, right?
You can get your state inspection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny thing.
No, I hear you, man, and that sucks, man. My heart goes out to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I understand like it's a
Both of you,
like it's a money draining project,
froze.
but it is what it is, and I'm gonna make it nice. Like, luckily it's not too much damage, and I can just get some of the stuff repainted, and I'll be looking just brand new again. So
You just got that back from the painter, man. It was looking that gorgeous cherry red too.
yeah, it still does. It still does. It just needs like the bumpers are cracked, and I'm like, all right, I'll just
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
put on some
I
new
don't really like
bumpers,
beer that
get them
much.
repainted, and that's okay. Luckily, like getting bumpers painted is not too expensive.
Well, I'll tell you, you have the best attitude, which is the hardest part. Some people get like, fuck this and fuck that. And I was kind of like that in my
trust
younger
me,
days.
for, like
I
the
feel
first
like
10 minutes after that, like
rage
you did
quit.
not want to be around me. Otherwise, I would have probably punched you in the face.
Yeah, I'm like that for an hour. I'm like that for like 5
Like
times.
my friends were like, yeah, let's not get let's help him out. Let's get him back on track.
Yeah.
But let's not say anything.
And that, dude, I've been there 1,000 times, whether I got my ass kicked in a fight or laid out on like at the football field, when you're just like having
Yeah.
the worst day ever. And then people come up and they're like, what's wrong? Like they want to, like, dude, everybody just, nobody talk for 20 minutes and just let me like process what's going on right now. So I get it, man. I get it better than anybody. But should we set up a GoFundMe?
I wouldn't mind.
I mean, I'm
but
not- I'm
it's
not-
necessary.
I'm not, dude, I'm not bullshitting right now. I throw that around and I've put it in a couple homebrew for life videos, like doing a GoFundMe for like a $30,000 garden hose. I'm down to do a GoFundMe for your car. Even though it's 100% your fault, you didn't have insurance, I'm still down to support you in this regard. Let me put up a
Yeah.
chat.
No, I mean, if people want to donate, I'm more than happy.
Well, we'll see.
But-
We'll see right now. Would you donate?
But no, like I understand. Like I chewed out the racetrack for certain things because
Hey, man, not
Like,
all
as a
fundraisers
driver-
have to be like hospitals and stuff. We can get your car back to life. I would donate $5.
Oh, yeah.
Ollie, so what kind of car do you have? Like quarter mile or circle track?
drifting.
Stephen Plass knows what's up.
Yeah, so I'm not contributing to your habit. Sorry.
He's like,
Why?
you brought it
Because
up.
it ain't circle
you brought it
track or
up on your
drag
text.
Hey,
racing?
come on,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Wait,
dude. No.
Wait, what was his
It's
reason?
all about the amateur circle track.
Amateur Circle Jerks. Sounds like a fucking great name for a beer.
They crash more than we do.
Or a punk band.
And they're
All
they're
right,
much
some,
more
and that's fair. Some people want to teach all y'all's a
I'm
lesson.
just-
I'll support-
That's debatable.
I'm just kidding, bud.
We're up to 73%.
That's debatable.
Danoid XD, great homebrew for life
I'm
video.
sorry.
Thanks, man.
I need more than just one turn. One
got 63
side of the
people
turn.
How many
I need
people
to
are
go
watching?
the other way as well.
63.
Hey, like,
Can we raise how? Okay, what's the damage?
year they go left too.
What's the
Oh,
total
actually,
damage?
You know what?
Or right,
Can I-
whatever.
Actually, never mind. I probably shouldn't do this.
I mean, I got $5 to the Brungie. Juvenal Hernandez Jr. San Diego has fire chimichangas. Just saying. San Diego in the house, man. Much love.
Chimichangas.
Hey,
Damn.
apologies if I botched your name, Huvendal. What part of San Diego are you from, man? I think I know everywhere at this point, except like Lemon Grove. Ain't nobody go to Lemon Grove. Ain't nobody.
Yeah,
go.
it's a new name by the way. I don't know how to pronounce it. Juvenal Hernandez.
It's a great name.
Juvenal. I've never seen that name in
Juvenal?
Great
chat
save.
before. There you go.
What's
That's
up,
a
Weld?
new
It's still in the
name, yeah.
house. 17 votes. Would you donate $5 to the barrage? Hell yeah, I would. Oh, I can't do it from Streamlabs. All right, looks like
All right, so
people are
I'm-
not as active, but you got to figure out. I mean, what are the people that actually donate to a GoFundMe? Like 0.01%. So I think we're doing like way better than most. I think the real question is, would Beer
Wow.
Quad Nation donate?
64%? Yes. Wow. I appreciate that. I really do.
You got my $5, all guys.
100% was the same as the people that would ask you what kind of barrel that beer was in.
Oh, what are you drinking now, Jaggers? That's like a
Sterling
darker
B.
beer.
Right,
drink
right.
Favorite beer,
Can't
sorry?
hands down.
Can't do rye
Favorite
beers,
beer,
man.
hands down.
Can't
What
do
is it,
rye
though?
beers.
Boulevard Rye on Rye.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
I've
had-
had their I've had Boulevard whiskey.
Dude, that's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a distillery now.
No,
I do.
no. So all their barrel aged stuff has a very like syrup taste to me, except for this one. This
Yeah.
one is hands down the best beer.
I
Now-
didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get that one, but I did mention to you how I got like a
Yes.
mix pack of theirs. Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
and that mix pack is good, but they change it every year.
yeah, it's okay. The actually the creme brulee barley wine was my favorite out of that
So
one.
okay, so I didn't have this year's. I had last year's, and last
Yeah.
year's was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yes.
The spiced rum barrel spice cake was also pretty good. The cherry stout was the strongest one, and it was also my least favorite.
Okay.
Which I'm not surprised. I don't like cherry in beer. I just unless it's like really well done Belgian like sour. I've had so many bad examples of beers with cherries. It's just I don't know. Very few taste good. Like most of them just taste like cough syrup. It's just like
Yes.
disgusting.
And that's how the majority of their like wood aged beers are for like their normal lineup, in my opinion, is. And
Me and all
I mean,
else are having our own little
Take-
tree fort hangout.
take that for what it's worth.
Is everyone out of here? Genius Brewing, man. You say you can't come on the show, and then you fucking show up for like 3 hours, man.
Back off, war
up with this
child.
bullshit?
Seriously.
Juvenile.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I don't really like beer.
Anybody
You
make
made
a
time
beer
for
with
you,
cat
CH.
food?
No,
Dude, I got a lot of
That
cat
sounds
food.
horrible.
that sounds terrible.
Well, cat food could
I'm
be
gonna-
fish. It could be. It doesn't
gonna
have
run
to
to
be
the
cat
bathroom
food.
real
Cat
quick. I'll be
food.
right back.
Still sounds terrible.
Gnome goes
Yeah, I
to the
would not want
bathroom.
a fish beer.
I didn't know Gnome went to the bathroom. Later, Chris Radiation. Anyone make a? Okay, that was the same shit. Northwest Small Batch Brewing in the house, man. Name pronounced Juvenal. Originally Central San Diego, Logan Heights. Yeah, my buddy Brandon. He's not really in the homebrew flight videos. One of my best friends, though. Just moved to Oceanside. I know a lot about both those cities, Logan Heights and Oceanside. If you ever want recommendations on places to eat food, I know a lot about both those places. Logan Heights was kind of ghetto gangster. I'm glad you got out of there. Oceanside used to be ghetto gangster. Now it's a little bit more kind of like North Park, man. So cheers for you, Juvenal. We're hooving on up to the
Hey,
east side.
CH.
What up?
Jason Waterfalls has a question about the Anvil 10.5 system.
What happened
You
there?
brewed on that, right?
Hey, shout out to Bold HB, man. Thanks for that $10 super chat on the YouTube video, man. That video's bombing, so I appreciate all that. Yeah, I brewed on the Anvil. Serious
Would you
question.
He's
Out of all my electrical systems, the Anvil for me had like the worst problem, but I think they sent me one of the shitty ones or the ones that were in beta. But it was leaking through the bottom.
ooh.
Yeah, that was a hard. But again, I think they gave me obviously
They kind of gave you like one of their like bottom of the line barrel kind of thing, like
yeah, that
just
was
barely
3
past inspection.
That was 3 years ago, man. I guarantee you they got a lot of complaints.
Yeah, they got much better. Like their system is much better and stuff like that.
And you could say that about anything. You could say that about Clawhammer. You could say that about
I mean, yeah, like have you looked at old Clawhammer videos where like
They-
the 120 volt
Dude,
like,
they brought
the
it up.
controller box was like as big as your like CRT TV.
They brought it up in their last video. They're like, here's what we used to use, and like it was shit. And like half the people
Yeah.
watching that are like, that's not what I use. But no, and you know what? This whole electric here's what people have to understand about this whole electric beer system thing. It was very quick to market. Everybody was trying to get it out first. Nothing has withstood the test of time. I think Grainfather kind of set the bar. I broke a Grainfather. And then people were trying to go from there, either compete with the Grainfather
Right.
or do it cheaper.
Grandfather kind of was the start of it all, right?
Grainfather was around probably like 5 years ago, and I don't remember any other electric brew system around then.
Right.
Like I remember Grainfather from probably like 2017. Yeah. And I remember that they had a rep that would come into our brewery and set up his shit like a pyramid. And people were like, whoa, 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 whoa. But over time, little by little, breweries were buying them as pilot systems. And lo and behold, when I was at, Noam, what's your brewery out there in Stockholm? The church brewery? Omnipolo.
Omnipolo.
They had it. They had a grandfather. They had a grandfather system, and I was like, "Damn! If these motherfuckers have grandfathers." But then I did find out the grandfather. I think they're based out of Australia or New Zealand. It's not America.
I want to say the grandfather is probably British.
Oh, grandfather is yeah, British.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I am.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's UK. I don't know if it's British, but I know it's UK based.
Be right back. Be right back. Be right back.
I decided that if I ever switch over to like an all-in-one system electric, that it would be the claw hammer system.
Yeah, Clawhammer. From what I saw, like at CH's house, that was the first time seeing it in person. But with all the people that are using that in their videos, it seems like a solid system for sure.
Yeah, it seems like the best all-round type system
That's what I brew on.
has multiple like ways to do it.
Yeah.
If I'm giving my honest opinion, I feel like an asshole saying this, but my opinion, it would be the Brew Tool setup. But also, it's more money, a lot more money.
Right. So it came down. Honestly, it came down to me between like claw hammer and anvil. Honestly, as far as the setup went, like I felt like I could do the most there at a good entry price. Right.
Right. Yeah, and that's important too, especially for people that are you're not. A newbie to this game is not buying a fucking Brew Tool setup. That's like a fact.
Right. But I enjoy the flexibility that the direct fire propane, brew in a bag system kind of provides me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, you're killing it, dude. Like you're putting us all to shame. For real.
Well, so I have an Instagram follower that's really kind of turned into one of my best friends, Ramon from Venture.
That's
Brewing,
Jagger's top center.
I was watching it.
And he's crowned me the hardest homebrew worker or hardest working homebrewer in Texas. And so I feel like I've got to live up to that.
You're doing a good job, man.
I try.
What's up, Lynn?
Hi.
How you doing? Thanks again for driving my dumbass to the airport. I appreciate it greatly.
Hi, Lynn.
Nice to meet you. No, I wake up that early anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, that worked out, I guess, sort of. Even though, I'm like knocking, I'm like, someone out.
No, I told Casey, or I told CH later. It reminded me of Sheldon. CH. Like when Sheldon knocks on the door in Big Bang.
Oh yeah.
I'm not familiar, but I do know the show. Yeah.
Okay.